set. Operator bands are set. Alright. Welcome to the first round of matches for the Challenger League playoffs in North America. My name is Uzum9ki. Alongside me is going to be Comona.
Hello, everybody. Dude, I'm doing wonderful. I actually get to cast with one of my favorite co-ESL casters. Like, dude, we've been meaning to do this forever. And the fact that we actually get to sit down here and do it for Challenger League playoffs. This is not just the qualifiers. This is not just the open qualifiers, nothing. This is the playoffs to get into Challenger League. This is the next big step for a lot of people. And these two teams, Chris, Aura and Guac, they're looking to take that next big step. But first up, they got to do it round one, man.
It's very true. So the way things are working out this time around, normally you would have the top four teams make it into the Pro League, or not the Challenger League, and then they would have the seeding matches. But since Obey disbanded, there's currently 5 spots that are now available for all these teams to play. And these 16 teams, they're no pushover. They're a very solid, rounded, well group of 16 teams that competed over like 80 or 90 teams, I think, throughout the past 4 weeks, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think there's a break over the time that the Invitational was going on, but before that, yeah, there were 4 weeks of open qualifiers. A lot of teams only did 2 or 3 weeks, and they said, "Hey, we're set. We're gonna make it into these playoffs." And I think both of these teams actually won out. I think they both got 2 weeks where they had 8 wins. So it's a good start for them to be getting into the playoffs in the way that they did. Neither of these two teams are on a particularly high or low end of the spectrum. Out of the 16 teams, I think this is the 6 versus 11. So both of these guys are on the middle, and that means that they got something to prove, but that also means that they aren't necessarily going to be making any huge upsets. But we'll see how it works out, man. Aura, formerly under the name of Water and Brew, did pretty well, turned some heads. Actually had a couple of close games. I think they had a really close one against Toon Squad, if I'm not mistaken. But man, Aura, on their defense, man, seeing the operators that are coming out here, I'm actually a little bit surprised to be seeing the Castle on border, because normally they play a very orthodox, very by-the-book defense. So a lot of their stuff is very anchor-heavy. They don't rely on really hard roams. So I'm interested to see what they're going to be doing, with so many good roamers like a Jaeger, like an Ella. I mean, man, we got a lot of flexibility with
10 seconds left before insertion.
How are they going to make this work out on border?
We see
5 seconds left. Attackers recovered the diffuser.
Yes,
Attackers'
it is.
objective is to locate a bomb and defuse it.
Yeah, dude, that had me tripped up, because like almost everybody starts off armory lockers, man. Second floor, that's the normal. But man, Guac, turn it. Wait, is this Guac on Is this Guac on defense?
I believe so.
Gotcha. Okay,
Yeah.
so I was. Gotcha. Okay, so Guac on.
Grenades now.
Yeah, I was a little bit mixed up there, but either way, man. Seeing a little bit of Guac. Guac is a little bit more of that unorthodox defense, and they will go up for the mix-ups. But man, looking at Aura, I'm curious on how they're going to do this attack on a small map like Border. It's a pretty simple one.
He's already gone through ahead. So he does. The first frag onto Fozo in the first minute. Things are already popping off. Valka with the opening frag.
That's that.
This is a very quick rush coming out from the attackers of Aura. Already zesting the trail. That's already coming down. Attack takes down Temper, but Envy's going to take down Goni with the C4.
I am
down Filthy with one to bear with the third there onto Envy. He almost does not.
My goodness.
That'll be Zest taking him down. It's now quickly turned into a 1v2 situation. Zest on one shot.
Attackers have recovered their diffuser.
You can see, man, Plant's going down. The Zest has to make that push. He's not able to find the shots, and that means 2 people with eyes on him.
Right, so in effect, we'll be there to shut down Zest in a very quick round to come out there from Aura as they shut down Guac in the workshop and ventilation bomb site.
And that's actually a little bit surprising to see. I mean, first of all, the attack sort of almost fell apart there a little bit, that they weren't able to lock down Zest. They let him get away, and that's one of the things that has been a problem for Aura on their attacks before. But seeing that hard rush on the attack, like you mentioned, they got in there with like minute 32 minutes left, and that's not something that we're used to seeing from Aura. They're usually a very methodical team that gets inside and likes to watch each other's flanks. They're not necessarily big on clearing out the roam, but they're very good at denying the roam. I mean, especially Cloudstruck, usually so strong on watching the flanks. That's where he's made his bread before. And man,
Attackers need to locate
Aura
and
making
defuse
that rush.
as
I'm
many
wondering
bombs
if
as
that's
they
just a
can.
byproduct of playing on a very small map like Aura.
Like you mentioned earlier, you don't normally see Aura go for a rush plant, but risk pay and risks are high risk. High risk, high reward play. You get to open up the side and get the foes. So the castle dead, all the roam is upstairs. They can the side, and we're able to seize control of the backside.
Yeah, I mean, the entry frag was, I think, the most important thing. The fact that Malachi was able to get in there and get a kill off within the first 45 seconds of the action phase was such a big reason why that rush was able to work out for Aura. And so, man, I mean, like, the fact that they got in there and got that plant down in the time that they did, or at least got control of the site. They got fragged a couple of times from the upstairs, and, again, like we said, let Zest get away. They missed a couple of their shots, but missing a couple of shots once you're already in the site doesn't necessarily mean death for you. I mean, you saw that they won the round. You saw that the entry frag worked out. It's those opening shots that matter the most, and that time works out in Nora's favor. So, same bomb site. We'll see if they go down to that more methodical approach and maybe try to clear out more of the map now that they know the time frame that they're working. Possible, man. Once you're able to get those roamers out of that open office, at least make them retreat a little bit. Map control is so big on Border because there's so little map to control. So a lot of this map is all about that vertical gameplay. So we'll see if they're going for a more two-dimensional, one-plane approach. Not necessarily going for, the vertical destruction from below. That would be Cloudstruck's job, but he's out there watching the flanks. I mean, like I said, man, Cloudstruck is so good at watching the flanks. He's really, really good at detecting incoming movement. Got that intel unlocked just because he's got such a good mind for this game.
Is there to watch the cross outside the triple. Can you find the second Fozo, who's holding a very tight angle all the way back at half wall inside of Armory.
Holding ACOGs, man. I love that angle that Aura opened up all the way out from that outside balcony to look all the way into the archives. That's really, really smart right there.
Zest situated inside archives here, alongside by Africa's with a lot of Malachi being a little cautious here as Effected takes down Fozo.
Bomb located by attackers.
Trying to make sure that he can cut off the rotator coming out.
A bomb has been located.
There to frag off Zest. It's now a 5v2.
5v2, retakes are hard on Border, man. I'm interested to see Malachi going for that flank, man.
It'll be a very easy round for him. Shut them down, and I think that was almost a flawless round, if I'm not mistaken. And Aura just seemingly taken away after very tight 2-0.
May have been. I mean, you can see Cloudstruck rotating out into the main hallway there. And that's because Malachi was going around from CCTV and then making his way into Armory Lockers where he was uncontested through that main door. And so therefore you had two people with high rate of fire guns with the Zacogs, that you had Cloudstruck and Malachi doing that pincer attack into Armory Lockers. They knew that that's where the rest of the anchors were since they were already starting that plant inside of archives. So, pincer attack, and it can all be over if you're down on operators, and that's certainly what happened. Aura's got a strong start, man.
Very true, and also one thing I would like to mention.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
Their IGL, known as Trissa, has been very strong. First on anchor, Gypsy Guac, and very strong information gatherer for the scene, and without him, you really see how much it's hurting them.
Yeah, it seems that the coordination and maybe the glue for for these guys on Gypsy Guac has sort of been gone. I mean, especially you saw that the way that defense fell apart so quickly in that round 2. The fact that, we saw that a little bit in round 1 as well. I mean, the fact that operators went down so quickly and they weren't able to establish the refrags, those guys on Gypsy Guac, because they weren't able to establish that refrag game and, keep the cohesive defense together. Once you put a little pressure on them, they fall apart. That's what happens when you lose your glue, man.
Gypsy Guac, who knows, but they're trading out the mute this time for a see how this plays out for Gypsy Guac.
I also put an envy onto the smoke. I think I like that turnaround because we've seen it before. He's strong and holding his own, and generally is one of those guys that doesn't panic when it's down to just him. That being said, man, you got a lot of 2-speed and 3-speed operators on there. Not a whole lot of anchoring going on aside from having that dock who probably have to be, let's say, probably in the locker corner. I had to see how that would work out, but and again, quickly taking control of a lot of this map. Able to get into the offices and quickly, once again, right there in that locker corner, able to take down the dock, and that is so instrumental for locking down that site from the main door.
Fozo taking down Filthy as Malachi swings around through CC and instantly trades him out. Very good trade, but it's also the only smoke operator that's gone for Aura here, and this could prove vital for
EMP incoming!
I mean, I'll tell you what that does is that almost certainly pushes their attack exclusively onto that armory locker door rather than threatening anything into archives. They have got to get in there because that is their only safety, but they've got to maneuver around a smoke and many guns, and we're going to have to see if this thermite can get in there. The support is usually strong from these guys on Aura, but will they be able to do it without the smokes? Like you said, that can be a big hurt. And that defines where they make the push.
So Envy able to shut down Malachi. They're playing behind the bomb there. Spot number 1 with a cloud struck. That's going down.
Attackers activating diffuser.
Situation.
That's a hard spot to be in, man.
He's gonna find himself dead by Temper.
Defenders have located the diffuser.
Losing only 1 member of Fozo.
Defenders have disabled the bomb diffuser.
And once again, Fozo went down to that entry frag. We saw the solid entry frags from the Ash have been so important, but man, when it comes down to, establishing that turnaround roam game, that's what I like about Gypsy Guac in this matchup is that Aura's usually really good at denying the flanks, denying the roams, but if you're able to surprise them, that's where they can start to crack a little bit.
I forgot to change the title on stream. Rip. Let me go ahead and change that.
Hey, don't worry, guys. It's just a test stream, not like we got the Challenger League playoffs going on here, man.
That's a fat rip.
Some of the best teams you'll find. I would not be surprised if like literally everybody in this diamond was like a plat 1 or a diamond. Like, if you're a casual watcher, if you're more of just an observer rather than a player, like these guys would trash you so quickly.
Yeah,
I think a lot of people underestimate, just the kind of level that these guys operate on. I mean, there was certainly the differences, sometimes in prep between, the big boys, the guys that are in Pro League, the guys that are showing up at the Invitational. But then, when you got the guys coming into Challenger League, they still, normally the difference there is that the guys in Pro League are able to securely get that time to prepare for their matches, right? And they have a lot of VODs that they can review, and they can determine what kind of strategies they want to do to go up against certain teams. Meanwhile, in Challenger League, sometimes, and at this level where you're contending to get into Challenger League, a lot of these guys are going to be relying on their gun skill, on their game instincts, and not necessarily on the compositions and strategies. They'll stick to more cookie-cutter stuff, and that's one of the reasons why Aura is in the league, because they're really good at executing cookie-cutter strategies that everybody knows.
It's very true. So, Gypsy Guac finally able to find themselves their first round win, and they were able to actually adapt, and they only lost 1 member. It was Fozo playing behind half wall, and after that, it was just straight fragging coming out from Chips. So we'll see if something comes out here from Aura, if they're able to change things. But then again, this is the second time that we're seeing Chips playing downstairs in the workshop.
Yeah, man, they've established that they can hold up that second floor now. They've established that, you know, they know how to get that roam game on. They can get control of the hall, and they can get around whenever they need to, so long as people are pushing into that big office. You know, once again, second floor is super important on just about any site on Borders. So, you know, you got to be expecting that these guys are going to be coming into the office, coming into New York Times. And that's what they're set up to defend, rather than the first floor. But we'll see if they're able to deny it, because Goni already bringing up the Texas Dynamite to blow open this wall, and that means Kemper is going to have to rotate out.
Tipper will finally find himself falling back over to site. Malachi playing still inside of waiting room around passport. We've already lost a minute 20 on the attack here, so things need to start coming down for the attackers. And Barracuda, the sole roamer, I think, upstairs. The double roamer. Sorry, they were roaming up here to Temper, but he's instead falling back. So it's just Barracuda and Zest trying to keep control of upstairs. And this upstairs map control is very crucial. Bomb site.
I mean, especially that you have to control so much of the upstairs, because that hatch is open. That means that the attackers can get down and get control of the bathroom, which means that, you know, that far side of, not the workshop room, you know, where you see that mute sitting, that's the part that these attackers are going to start establishing control of. And so they do get it open in the bathroom, but also a kill there from the Legion on defense. Excellent refrag. We'll see if they can follow it up.
So Malachi falls as well as Goni, and that's the card breach. Right as I say that, Envy's going to peek out through the hole and frag off Filthy. It's now a 2v3. 45 seconds to play out. Things are not shaping good here for Aura. And with an Ella in play, things could be pretty dangerous.
Attackers have recovered their diffuser.
Still up top. Could make a very nasty flank.
And normally with all of the operators, one of the things that Aura can deny, but with only two, that means you have very specific roles, and now one man on the Thatcher's got to do it all.
Fire's going to find that first one onto Envy. Barracuda will be there to quickly trade him out and shut him down. That'll be the second match in a row for Chipsy Guac, and we're now tied at 2-2.
And tied 2-2 because Barracuda, oh my gosh, he was so ready for that. That is the map knowledge coming in right there from Barracuda on Chipsy Guac. He knew exactly where to shoot that floor to get the sights on to the bathroom so that he could get that flank coming around from the Thatcher. Such big brains from these guys at this level. That's what I love seeing. But man, you know, you talked about how it's so important for him to be up there so that he can get that flank. Didn't even need to fully commit to the flank, is that he was able to shoot him from upstairs through the floorboards. And it's the committals, I feel like, that lost Aura that round, because especially when he had Filthy on the Jackal committing to shooting through that wall and trying to find the Mute. When he was out of bullets, Mute comes around the corner and gets the peek on him, and that's why he went down.
Attackers need to locate and defuse
a very
bombs.
unfortunate series of events for Aura there, as they lost their hard breacher, they lost Malachi, their entry fragger, as well as the Ash. You know, Ash R4C combined with the ACOG is a very nasty combo, and
not for much longer.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Much longer, you're right, coming into next season. As you take a look at the scoreboard here, Filthy with 7 frags as well as Effective with 4. Malachi only with 2. As for Chips, 4 tied up right now, 2 tied up right now with Envy and Zest holding 4 to their name, Fozo and Temper with 2, and Barracuda with 1. So pretty even fragging amount coming out from
remaining.
Chips, and seems to be just a Filthy show and Effective coming out
5
right now
seconds
for
left.
Aura. So we'll see if they change things up on the side of Aura.
Attackers recovered the
You got to give credit to Chips for adapting and you know, not playing without Trista is not easy. He's the IGL of Chips, and being able to bring back 2 rounds in a row is a pretty big accomplishment.
Yeah, I think when you have your IGL down, the onus is on the entire team to figure out how you're going to adapt individually and how you're going to execute the strategies. And now you got to start running away because the frag is in, dude. Zest is sweating, man.
Yeah, Malachi nearly taking the head off of Zest, but he'll be lit up to about 70, 60 HP. Malachi just trying to make some work here on these east stairs, but Zest will be playing alongside Temper upstairs in monitors. So the site will be downstairs in customs.
I really don't like that Temper gave away his position by shooting through that wall, trying to catch the quick clip on Malachi. I would rather that he would just staying in the CCTV and not revealing his position, so that he could stick, you know, next to the Valkyrie that just got lit up and, you know, give her some support. Now she's at full health, which definitely bodes a whole lot better for Tipsy Guac, but not boding the best is that side wall to Customs is now open.
Drop the bomb
And
diffuser.
once again, big map control for these guys on Aura, but getting denied on the push because look at the mute that is ready. So close to
Attackers
nailing
have recovered their
Filthy, but
diffuser.
now he knows where the mute is.
Big Filthy knows that exact location, so Fozo frags off Clouch with Filthy instantly trading out Envy. It's now a 4v3 for the defenders, and they have man advantage with a minute 25 left to play out, and Fozo playing at the bottom of main stairs. Could
I
catch
like that
somebody off
position
guard.
for Fozo.
Yeah.
I definitely like that position for him because since he's on the stairs, it's also an option for a quick rotation back upstairs. You know that for the most part, all of these attackers are going to be relegated to the first floor because they've lost the Thermite, they've lost the Buck. Really all you've got is Filthy to attack from the upstairs, but that's not what he's looking for. He's looking for that straight up blasted downstairs.
So Zest was spot out affected, playing over by Tellers. And this hole can be used against Zest should it come to that, but Barracuda fragging off affected. Very nice call. And wow, Zest is going to frag off Malachi. Unfortunately, Malachi will lose that gunfight. It's all up to Filthy in a 1v3 with 35 seconds left to play. He'll be instantly fragged out by Barracuda. That'll be good night, Filthy, and 3 in a row for Chipsy Guac.
Great turnarounds. I mean, you're talking about how the whole team needs to make the adaptations, and the kill scores reflect that. Everybody's pretty much pulling their weight on Chipsy Guac. They're all pretty grouped up close and tight. But man, I just want to talk about, you talk about bouncing back. I like that Zest made the quick bounce back on Malachi. He got lit up. He got a couple of 5.56 in the shoulder. Then he said, yo, I'm playing the long game. 2 minutes later, I'm coming around and getting you back for putting a little bit of pepper spray in the side of me because my doc healed me up and I'm ready to put you in the dirt.
It's very true. And, it's a bit of a shame to see that Aura's fallen 3 rounds
Attackers
in
need
a
to
row. Such a
locate and
strong
defuse
start.
bombs.
But, again, it's great to see that chips are evolving. They're adapting to how Aura plays. And from what I can see, whoever gets the first pick pretty much wins the round.
So far, that has been the theme, I think. And I think really that just devolves down to the fact that, both of these teams to an extent, but particularly Aura, I mean, like we said, they have those cookie cutter strategies. They know what they want to execute, but it's down to if they're able to execute it. And, whichever team knocks each other off of the pedestal of the strategy that they have planned first means that you're in a far better position. And because Aura's been so straightforward, once they lose one essential piece, to that push that they want to try to establish, the rest of it falls apart so quickly. They haven't been able to make those quick adaptations the way that Gypsy Guac has.
Right, it's very true. So Barracuda and Fozo will be playing inside of monitors alongside them. So this is a triple round coming out from Chipsy Guac inside of monitors.
It feels like a hard room, right? Because of the fact that you would normally have to run through the hallways to get back to site. But because they've got that door open, they can run right back to Armory Lockers so long as they make sure that nobody's out alongside that balcony, which Malachi right now, not at that balcony, but looking right into break room and trying to find, and I mean, look, there's 3 people in CCTV. Eventually, he's going to see somebody.
It's very true. So Malachi going ahead and joining out break room, spots out Temper playing behind monitors. Temper's creeping up, trying to find Malachi's
Attackers have located a bomb.
I'll be Filthy playing up top on the roof. Gonna drop down Pengu spot. It's been a while since we've seen that spot drop. I know that there was a time where that spot was patched up. He couldn't drop from that hatch anymore. The only way to get up there was through the ladder on the bus, and pretty much getting onto the B balcony was almost a suicide mission because you usually have either someone watching from the sandwich window or from the archives window. Teams are coming up here onto Doni, planting that thermite charge with a very nice C4 to come up from Barracuda. CloudStrike instantly trades it out with a frag onto Zest, so Temper there trading it down underneath. Sorry, actually above from what it looks like. I think the hatch was open, so that'll be CloudStrike falling. Attacker takes down.
Oh, and I was about to... My God, dude, the quick frags, dude, turn it around.
Oh my God, Filthy takes down Envy. Does not land the shot there onto Temper. It's now a 1v2 for Affected. Propelling in outside on the east balcony. We'll have to hop into offices now. Temper will instead rotate
Defender
back to
has
site,
left
and
the
Barracuda is
designated staging
creeping up
area.
the main stairs. See just exactly how Affected can play things out. Meanwhile, that EMP will be eaten up by that ADS. Barracuda trying to play things a bit safe here.
I like that he hasn't totally pushed up those stairs because Affected can get those long angles, but there are so many angles for him to watch that, you know, like you said, Barracuda just needs to hang back and wait for Affected to panic. And we'll see if that happens. Not just yet.
A bomb has been
Very true. And
located.
Temper's going to land the shot there onto Affected through that wall in Africa. And Chipsy Guac will win the split 4-2 here on border.
That's kind of been the theme lately. I feel like most maps have been a little bit defender-sided as far as round ones go. No surprise to see it on border either, especially if you have a pretty solid roam game. And that's a little bit what I'm concerned about when it comes to seeing Aura on defense, because seeing them play in the past, I've noticed that they are really, really good on the anchor game. Their anchors generally don't get too antsy. They have really, really good resource management, especially through C4 and the smoke canisters. We'll see if Goni is able to do that. But man, I've always been concerned about Aura with their roam game because sometimes it's just
Defenders,
really
protect your
sloppy.
bombs
The
from
roamers
being
tend to
defused by
get a
attackers.
little bit too aggressive, and sometimes if they start getting pushed by the attackers, they tend to panic a little bit. So maybe 6-picking onto a clash could help out with that a little bit.
Very true. And keep in mind, this is a best of 3 series. So should should Aura lose this first map, it's not over just yet. They'll be able to play on the second map, which I believe is it'll be Coastline. So Coastline is going to be Chip's pick since Border was Aura's pick. It's a bit sad to see that. It's a bit unusual to see that. You know,
5 seconds
this
to
is
go.
the map that you pick, and you're down 2-4. But then again, you know, it's a defender-sided meta.
Attackers
The
recover the
information is
diffuser.
heavily
Attackers
favored
are
on the
moving out to
defenders.
locate a bomb and
So
defuse
we'll
it.
see if Aura is able to turn this around.
Well, I mean, first of all, again, we've talked about how this map is, you know, maybe it's a little bit small, and maybe sometimes because you can't establish a good roam game, if you have a guy, you know, like a Panther Petty or a Pengu, then, you know, it's a little bit harder for them to just run around and start zipping people in the head all the time. But on a smaller map, if you're really good on the anchor side, it can work out if you're on border and your anchors are just really rock steady and don't panic all that much. But you bring in a Clash and you bring in an Echo on a small map, and I think, where has that orthodox strategy gone from Aura? I think maybe they decided they needed to do something a little bit different. I know that not a lot of teams utilize the Clash. I know that not a lot of teams use Echo all that much on border because there aren't the best hiding spots. Sometimes the anchor spots can fall apart quickly. And we'll see how that works out. Now, we've been talking a lot about the defense of Aura as well, but interesting to see what's coming out from an offense as well. They have these guys on Chipsy Guac have the same loadout that Aura's won as far as operators go. They simply traded out the Jackal for the Capital, so it goes to show they're really more concerned about the smoke grenades than anything else.
It's very true, and Capital is able to provide a lot of cover with the smoke grenades, and his bolts are really not deterred by an ADS, but Barracuda is already pushing in here. He'll be able to flame out Malachi, but he's not taking any damage. Finds the first frag onto Malachi after taking a bit of damage from that 416 carbine. But in the end, it'll be Barracuda winning out the gunfight. We'll see CloudStrike spotting out Zest, hopping inside of that window. C4 is going to come out, and a very nice clutch C4 to come out from Filthy. And that's the only hard reach dead to come out here from Chipsy Guac.
Yeah, very important to get
Attackers
that
have recovered their
down. And,
diffuser.
you know, now Goni going down as well. You got kind of essential operators to stay alive pretty long. Jaeger with that good 416 carbine, and of course Smoke, the toxic babes going down now. That is a huge blow to Aura.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Especially since you have the Capital still alive with one firebolt left in play. So the first firebolt will be able to take out CloudStrike. It will prevent him from going into sight. Temper, as well as Envy, are going to try to take down CloudStrike here. This is a bit rough as Thatcher's going to come in and win the gunfight against Affected. It's now a 2v4.
15 seconds left.
Filthy is still alive here. But Envy has him down, so it's technically a 2v2.
10 seconds
Diffuser
left.
is not in the hands. It's been down outside. Filthy with the first frag there.
5 seconds
Coming
to
around.
go.
Filthy with the
No
3K.
way! Oh my
Wow.
goodness!
Filthy is clutch. to say the least.
I would dare say he is living up to his name, dude. The quickest flick. That goes to show that this man Cloudstruck is playing Clash exactly as intended. You're not trying to do this exactly the Montaigne way. You're just there to be a total annoyance to the guys trying to push the site. They know they have to deal with you, and they know that they can't necessarily plant it last second because the Clash is going to stay alive. You can tank all the bullets in the world with that shield. The fact that that defense worked out, how quickly it fell apart for Aura, utterly insane. And you have to give props. You have to give props to Filthy for just the sickest, quickest 3K you've seen.
It was very, very nasty. He downed one outside on the east balcony, which I think was
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
I think that was Envy, if I'm not mistaken. And then
That sounds right.
you just have, one by one, you have your two attackers just pushing them through office. Cloudstruck giving out the call, and Filthy just playing over by Red behind the bar, just one by one. They come around the corner, and it's a very easy frag fest for Filthy. And if you take a look at the scoreboard, 15.
Oh my god!
15 for the name of Filthy. So if you're looking at this at this matchup right now, you got to take down Filthy because he is the hot hand coming out right now
10
for
seconds
Aura.
left before insertion.
Gotta find a way to shut him down. I'm interested to see if he's going to be able to frag out with the castle. But then again, if you put him on a guy like Castle, he doesn't have to worry about
Attackers are
bandit
out to locate
tricking,
a bomb and
smoke
defuse it.
canisters, or yokai drones. No, he puts down his walls and he says, look, I'm good to go. I'm ready to focus on just getting kills and locking down the attackers. And maybe that is exactly what Aura's strategy has been. And by the way, I know that right now Goni is sporting an unfortunate goose egg, but that's actually not all that bad from him because he's mostly been relegated to the necessity roles up to this point. He's playing smoke right now on defense, not necessarily an operator that's going to net you kills. And on the attack, he was
bomb has
playing
been located.
Thermite, which is, you bring him along because you gotta have a Thermite. And I think that really just goes down to the fact that Goni is going to tend to stay alive. But speaking of hard breachers, that was a quick opening.
Yeah, Zest already opening up the armory wall here since the bandit of Cloudstruck still has 2 in his pocket, which is very interesting. I'm guessing he's going to probably try to save it over inside a fountain to give himself some cover. But other than that, like you were saying, Goni really doesn't have to frag all that much on the attacking side of things. His main job
Attackers
is just
have
to plant
located a
down the
bomb.
diffuser. His job isn't to get the frags. It helps to get the frags, sure. But his main job is to plant down that diffuser and ensure the round win for his team. But so far that was not the case in that first half, as we saw. And immediately we're going to be seeing Chipsy Guac going in and droning out. But Zest already making a push for the site, going in for a plant here. Will Goni be able to hear that out? He will. Smoke coming out here from Goni. Toxic Babes and shooting some death. That's going to be a very good frag coming out from Pozo. And Goni's just sitting in sight.
Wait.
He has
did it
control of the diffuser, and he'll start to go ahead and defuse. Does Chipsy
No
Guac
way.
know
Okay,
this?
look to his right.
No,
He's right there.
Pozo will be there above. Unfortunate timing there, but plant is down. It's now a 3v3.
I don't know if you saw too. Oh no, that was actually Filthy outside. Okay, I thought that was an enemy just waiting for him to defuse and say, hey, no ditches here. But Temper also saying no.
Very true. So we have Filthy counter defusing.
Unless.
Oh no! Can he get it? He will! What is happening? Aura defuses what?
Failed.
Aura is able to disable the diffuser, and there's 2 members alive for Chipsy Guac. What are they doing?
That was the sloppiest, and I mean sloppiest plant I have ever seen. Because first of all, I feel like Goni should have been able to deny the defuse with the smoke canisters anyways. But the fact that he missed was a boon to those guys on Chipsy Guac, and they got it down. But you saw that there were 2 attempts at a ninja defuse, and the second one ended up working out. I agree with you. What are they doing? Where were the people to sit down and watch the diffuser? Because first of all, Filthy was just in that main hallway for about a good 20 seconds before he started diffusing, and then eventually just said, hey, nobody's killing me, so I'm just going to do this. Where are the attackers?
What? Like, you have Fozo above playing through the
Defenders,
holes.
protect your
Why?
bombs from being
Why is
defused by
Fozo
attackers.
off of? What? Like, he's on defuse watch up here over by the double wall of armory. He has the holes to look down. He knows that the diffuser is being countered. Why is he not looking through? I mean, if anything, you have a drone in the site to prevent that and give the call out. You know,
Attackers
Zest is
discovered
dead.
the
He can
location of a
follow
bomb.
up on that drone, and that's just a very terrible round win to give away to Aura. And as we take a look at the scoreboard, Filthy managed only to get one, but still, he's just been a monster throughout this entire map.
I mean, yeah, Filthy's been taking advantage of every single opening.
I guess you
He's
could
been-
say Filthy's filthy.
Oh no. I mean that's been the story
5
of this
seconds left.
match on Border so far. Is that Filthy has been absolutely filthy. The fact that he's been able to cover the bomb diffuser, guys on Guac or Tipsy Guac for every single slip up that they've had has been so important, and that was the reason that they were able to win that whole last match. Is that Filthy was sitting down there and realizing, you know, hey, I'm not getting killed and I'm sitting.
The
in
defuser's
it.
already
Okay,
coming
hold on.
down.
No,
This
hold
is
the
just
phone.
a rush plant coming down, but Diffuser is down, and what is
Attackers
Tipsy Guac doing? They're just throwing their lives away. Barracuda already going for the second type attempt to plant here, and he'll get it down successfully. Claustro
Attackers
drops
are
down into
activating the
sight.
bomb diffuser.
He'll
Defenders
instead
have
rotate
located the
over to
diffuser.
east stairs. It's now a 4v3 in favor of the defenders, but Diffuser is down.
Uh-oh, hang on. You got Cloudstruck coming in from up top.
Oh my
He's gonna
goodness.
find one.
Discovered.
This
Defender
is
has
just an
left the designated
absolute
staging area.
growth, as you could say, coming out from Tipsy Guac. They've thrown 2 rounds in a
Defenders
row.
disabled
They've
the
tried to
diffuser.
rush plant. It's not
Defender
working.
mission successful.
Why are they throwing their lives away?
This is actually making very little sense to me, Chris. I'm looking at this and I'm wondering why
What?
Tipsy Guac is focusing so hard on
no.
just getting the diffuser down. They're
Oh,
not focusing
man.
on actually making sure it stays alive.
Oh my god. I can't put into words what is happening right now other than utter stupidity. I guess they're just trying to make surprises with the Aura, but it's not working. You know, you have Goni, who's a very competent IGL. Very great call there. Oh my god. It just came down to an absolute hell in a cell match, frag fest, and Aura came out on top.
And again, I feel like that goes down to the fact, I mean,
Defenders protect
you know,
your bombs from being
there
defused
is
by
a
attackers.
very simple counterplay. It's kind of just like Uno. I mean, it is a very simple counterplay as to why you go for a rush plant. And you go for a rush plant because the enemy is roaming too hard. I think the best example I can think of, at least for a match that I personally cast, is there was a match between Spaghetti Monsters and Powerhouse. And Spaghetti Monsters had constantly been destroying Powerhouse with roam after roam after roam. And eventually, they had one where everybody except for the smoke was off site. And so Powerhouse, it was on coastline, they rushed into the kitchen window and they planted in the first 25 seconds of the match.
10
And
seconds left.
that's what Tipsy Guac has been trying to do. But the problem is that a rush
5
plant,
seconds left before
in
insertion.
case it's not clear, a rush plant is made to counter
Attackers
hard
have recovered their
roams.
diffuser.
And we have
Attackers
established that
locate
Aura
and defuse
is
the
not
bomb.
about hard roams. They are very solid anchors, and they've been able to shut down the rush plants because their anchoring has been so solid.
That's very true. And granted, you know, it's bathroom tellers. Not a lot of teams have a solid bathroom tellers defense, so I can see why they went for the rush plants. But it's just it's so it's such a head scratcher. And that spot in Cloudstruck is just gonna shut down Envy. I'm not exactly sure where he died.
Possible that would have been outside of break room. It looks like there is a body out there.
Yeah, it's over here at East Stairs. Yeah, I can see that. I think what happened was yeah, there's a hole right there. Oh no, he has a bullet hole. Okay, he has a bullet hole to look over at the
bullet
East Stairs.
That is, again, the highest level play, you guys.
High IQ right there.
They can get a kill through a straw.
You normally see teams use a punch hole, but when you have an ACOG, sometimes bullet holes are the best choice in terms of
Bomb
holding down.
located by attackers.
I mean, I'm not too sure if you've seen some of Serenity's videos. There was a time back when Jaeger ACOG was a thing. It was on Yacht, I think. And you shot like maybe 3 or 4 bullet holes into a wall and just used that to counter people running in through the engine. But that was like year 1, and it's just interesting to see that these old strats are just coming out into play.
Yeah, albeit with the doc, you know, Jaeger ACOG ain't coming back, and that's, you know, I'm gonna voice my opinion. That's for the better. That's for the better, Chris. I'm gonna put that out there.
I believe so.
You
And
know,
I think that the ACOG nerf to Ashe is also needed because it's almost like playing Jaeger on attack. with ACOG.
meanwhile, I do want to point out, just because we're talking about it, both Temper and Malachi are Ashe Jaeger mains. Take that as you will. But man, walls open. Weren't able to shut down the thermite, and now that Malachi is getting into that fight with Temper, the offset of his on Gypsy Guac. See if Malachi is able to do something about it. He's got to establish control of that hallway again, but that could be trouble.
Clockstrike's going to boost Malachi's health up by 40%. He'll rise up to about 80 health there. Infected getting his Echo Drones inside, but it'll be shut down by an EMP here. With 38 seconds left to play out, Zest has the diffuser in hand. This could be a bit of trouble for Gypsy Guac with all 5 members of Aura still alive.
Smokes are up.
Smoke comes out from Barracuda, but it'll be instantly counted out by Goni, who will instantly be down and traded out by Temper. Inside his sight, but 15 seconds have left to play. Zest will start planting that diffuser. Infected
10 seconds to go.
going to utilize this Echo Drone here to the best of his ability.
5 seconds to go.
Wow, Affected shuts him down,
The diffuser
and it's
has
all
been
over
dropped.
here as Barracuda's the
Oh
last
my
alive.
goodness.
So much blue on the screen, and that is 3 in a row here for Aura. Affected with the final 2 frags. I'm actually surprised how that first shot wasn't a headshot, but either way, it works out in Aura's favor, and that is 3 in a row here, and we're on match point.
he says, man, see me on land. That would be a headshot. You would have been dead earlier.
That's
See,
very true.
The classic see me on land.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
wins
be
those
surprised,
on
man.
land.
Yeah, I win those on land, dude. Gypsy Guac is like, yo, see us on land. We're gonna get all of these rush plants down before it's hit reg. It's hit reg. That's what it is. But
Yeah,
man,
hit reg is big bad on the CUS. big bad. I think it's honestly the worst server to use for competitive. East is so much more like stable and kept up with that. Even though I live in Texas,
Attackers
even
need
though
to
like playing
locate
the
and
60 ping,
defuse
I
as
would
many
rather
bombs
play
as they
East
can.
than
Yo, bro,
play
you
on
live in
server.
Texas?
Play on Central. Yeah, I'm from Texas.
yo, bro, we gotta talk about that shit. Yo, I'm no need to bring out the cusses. That's my bad. But man,
No, you're good.
just caught me off guard a little bit, man. I'm up in Dallas. Hit me up. But anyways. You know, aside from location-based matters that are interesting only to your 2 casters. Again, this is I'm casting with Uzum9ki, also known as Chris. I am Comona. I hope you guys are enjoying the commentary, but more importantly, I hope you
10
guys are
seconds to
enjoying
insertion.
the incredible match that you are seeing unfold before you right now. Because again,
5
you
seconds
saw.
to
I mean, you were
insertion.
saying 19 kills, and
Attackers have recovered their
that's going down to the fact the guys on Gypsy Guac have got to find a way to shut them down, and they haven't. That is why Aura has won, not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 rounds in a row, and they're on match point after losing out on defense or after losing out on the attack because their defense, again, anchor based on border, is so rock solid, and the fact that they haven't had to go for crazy retakes, that has been, you know, one of their weaknesses in the past, and the fact that they haven't had to try to establish a heavy throw game or go for crazy retakes has been huge for them.
Inspiration. It's also important to know that this is a defender-sided meta, and with 4 in a row, I guess you could say it's not surprising, but I mean, when you really look at it, it's shocking. And Cloudstrick's going to land a very nice shot there on Envy. Peeking through. Cloudstrick's going to go for a run out. Finds a second onto Zest.
The attacker's bomb diffuser has
Coming out here from Gypsy Guac. He'll instantly be shut down by
Attackers
Fozo, but
recovered
not
the bomb
before he gets
diffuser.
both Envy and Zest. So Hard Breacher and Soft Destructor are down for the count. Cloudstruck making use of that wall that Zest opened. that's
He
rough
said,
to
man,
see.
he said, man, you thought you gave yourself an advantage? I think
Oh,
I'm feeling
Goni
pretty
finally
good.
got his first frag. Let's go!
Let's go, Goni. Finding it downstairs. That's, again, strong anchor game coming out right there. Assisted by the yokai at his back.
This is almost over, I should say, for Gypsy Guac. They've let 4 rounds go in ahead. I honestly think that Chips are playing tilted, and because they don't have Trista to calm them down, it's rough for Chips right now.
Yeah, I think the beginning of the match nerves, right? They were like, okay, hang on, no, we can actually do this without our IGL. We'll be fine. We just got to work cohesively as a team. But I totally agree. Without an IGL, without somebody to keep your team cohesive, I mean, in Pro League, it even goes down to seeding. Right? So like, it's unfortunate that Gypsy Guac is falling apart a little bit, and that proves it right there that Fozo wasn't able to win that gunfight with the 1 HP Echo that was at a disadvantage.
No. Foza was outside and Malachi was the one that fragged him out there.
Okay,
That's why the diffuser's out there. But Affected dropped hatch, and I thought Affected hit the shot as it was dropping, but I saw the kill feed and it was Malachi that picked it up. And this is almost all but over, but with 25 seconds left to play, I mean, it's kind of hard to not say that. Affected will be taken down here by Temper. Shots coming up from Malachi inside the supply. It's really rough here for Temper. The shotgun coming out. Goni with the second frag and a headshot nonetheless, and that'll be 5 in a row for Aura as they take map number 1 on border.
The quickest turnaround, and I fully agree. I think that most certainly Chipsy Guac just got totally tilted. They were doing just fine on defense, and when their attacks weren't working out, they tried more and more outlandish strategies, and the more that they didn't work, the more that they started to panic and fall apart. And so, despite the fact that they were all pretty well-rounded on their team and didn't need a 19K, leader from, a filthy type, they fell apart, and they weren't able to establish control as attackers. They weren't able to lock down the defenders and control the pace of play. It was definitely Aura saying, this is how this match is going to go. You guys are going to attack at this time, and we're going to control how you want to make those pushes. And I feel like as an attacking team, especially on a map like Border, you have to be the ones that are controlling the pace of play.
That's very true. So that was also a very poor shutdown from it was a very poor shutdown, a very great shutdown, I should say, actually, from Aura. They were able to win 5 in a row, and I think Aura's just trying to they need to take a bit of a break real quick.
I say, give me a second. Let's get ourselves together. We'll carry this into the next one.
It's almost it's a bit confusing to me that Chipsy Guac are ready to go into the next one without talking to each other, without having some kind of game plan. And again, with Trissa not here, it's a bit frustrating, I guess, on their side to not be able to calm things down, not able to think things through, try to figure out what went wrong, because you lost 5 rounds in a row on your attacks. And it's almost as if they're playing it didn't, not necessarily tilted, I guess, but just when it came down to the execute, they didn't have the right angles to hold. Either that or they just got gunned off the face of the game.
I mean, if you're a fighting game player and somebody hits you with a close game 1 and then perfects you in game 2, you don't immediately go into round number 2, or you had the close game 1 or round 1, its last hit, and then round 2 they perfect you. You don't go into game 2 immediately. You take a second to level yourself, and you say, look, I was close, I was doing something right, so I'm not gonna let this guy run a train over me again. I just need to figure out what I got to change up. And I think that if Chipsy Guac took a second to do that for themselves, they'd be in a prime position. But Aura's sort of doing that for them.
Yeah, so it looks like both teams are ready to go, and we'll be moving on to Coastline here. And let me just double check. Let me just go ahead and update that real quick. Let me reset the Aura with the 1 update. Operator bans will be coming out very soon. So Chipsy Guac are going to be banning first, and this is going to be Coastline. So Coastline, some people say you don't necessarily need a hard breacher, but in my opinion, it's always nice to have at least a Hibana on the board to breach stuff.
I fully agree. I'll put it to you this way: Coastline is not a map that necessitates a thermite, and I think that in a lot of ways, a Hibana is certainly more useful. A lot of the sites give you open sight lines into them from non-hard breached walls, but you want to look at certain sites such as Penthouse, which is unfortunately not a very good site. But let's be real. Let's be real. Defenders don't want to defend Penthouse, but especially if you looked at Hookah Lounge, right? certainly not necessary to have a hard breacher to get into the site and get the plant down. But you can always have a Hibana on the roof to shoot those XK-Rust pellets onto the wall into billiards, and then you can lock down the anchors. And for a team like Chipsy Guac, who want to shut down a strong anchor game from Aura, that could be the kind of thing that they're looking for. Because also, I mean, to point out, you don't need a Thermite because he's 2-speed, and you get the 3-speed out of the Hibana. She can also help you make the rush inside if they're in, a site like Kitchen where you definitely don't need a hard breacher. So we'll see how that works out. No hard breachers banned and no hard breach denial banned either. In fact, what we're going to be seeing banned are, like you said, intel heavy, defender-sided meta. Mira and Maestro are both banned. I think that Mira is certainly the most common ban on Coastline, with Maestro being a huge thorn in the side of anybody as well, simply because he gets so many long lines of sight with those Spaceman helmets. But I'm talk about operators that give you long lines of sight. Glaz and Dokaibi, a sniper rifle and a DMR are off the board.
It's very true, and like you said,
Attackers need to
my opinion,
locate
I
and
think it's
defuse
best to
bombs.
ban a Maestro compared to a compared to an Echo, because one, Maestro doesn't take as much skill compared to Echo, because with Echo, you only have 30 shots, you only have 30 rounds in a mag compared to 81, and you
Bomb located by attackers.
you don't have like the ability to just pre-fire every corner that you see, and then hopefully land a headshot. And also, your gadget is also not indestructible, at least according to an explosive. But
Sure. I mean, what you're saying is that an attacker has to burn utility on a Maestro, whereas if you bring
5 seconds left before insertion.
as opposed to bringing an
Attackers have recovered their
IQ
diffuser.
where you're
Attackers
not
are
burning
moving to
utility,
defuse a bomb.
you're just taking away the idea of which operators you're going to use and specifying one person out of the role of, okay, shut down the yokai drones. And also the fact that they got the IQ to, now there's no echo on Chipsy Guac's defense, but the IQ will be helpful in taking down those Legion mines, finding any ADS, of course, the Valkyrie, but it's not the RED that's hunting down the Valkyrie cameras. They are hunting down the source, because Filthy is going right in to try to find Fozo, and first of all, finding that by himself, that ceiling gave it away.
it's very true. So a roam coming out from Temper and Barracuda inside of offices will cause them to fall back with Malachi. And Cloudstruck there for the walkthrough. I'm sorry, the crossfire. And that'll be Temper just trying to peek around, trying to see if he can fight Cloudstruck here, but he's getting tracked. He's gonna get pinched here very soon. This is almost certain death for Temper. There's no way of rotating.
Now it takes the well-timed push. Cloudstruck will indeed be able to find that well-timed push. I mean, like we said, 3-speed Hibana, you like that to push harder than a 2-speed Thermite, and Cloudstruck is certainly showing why. Now, meanwhile, Jaeger has also gone down, so 2 roamers off the board, and so down goes Fozo. Cloudstruck
Wow.
doing an excellent job up
Attackers
until
have
right
located
then,
a
got a
bomb.
little bit too aggressive, and Zest was able to turn it around, so still certainly doable on defense at the moment.
It's very true. So with 20 left to play, that'll be Zest playing on the Cool Vibe stairs. Envy still inside of Hookah. That'll be Malachi rotating outside of Blue. And interesting to see that Cloudstruck was on the hard breach this time, but unfortunately was not able to utilize any of his utility. But he did shut down both the Legion and the Jaeger, so...
Yeah, I find it interesting that in particular Cloudstruck was on the Hibana. I think it would sort of make sense if he was the Thermite, because then he can relegate himself to that flank watch role that he's so good at. But the fact that he went to the Hibana and had that 3-speed unlock and was able to get in so quickly, I like seeing that he's committing a little bit more to that, that quick entrance and trusting himself to land those shots, because I feel like Cloudstruck's always had really good gun skill, and now he's gonna show that off with the Hibana.
Yeah, so the IQ of Goni is aggressively pushing in here. Gonna go for a plant and just throw his life away as well as the diffuser. Thought it'd be a quick trade out by Effect, and it's all up to Zest in a 1v2 with 15 seconds left to play here. Malachi and Effect is trying to pinch out Zest inside of
Attackers
sight.
recovered the
Effect
bomb
will go ahead and
diffuser.
start to plant
10
the
seconds
diffuser as
remaining.
Malachi will cover from the theater hall, and Effect will pull off the diffuser and frag off Zest, and that'll be round 1 in favor of Aura, and that is actually 6 rounds in a row here for Aura.
Yeah, going back to that last map in Border, and man, you know, that comes down to the fact that they know that the operator advantage is so important when it gets down to those last 10 seconds. You know, if you're one attacker versus two defenders, then you've got a problem trying to get that diffuser down because they can flank you at any time. But if you've got the two attackers to the one defender, you have one person to watch your back while you plant. And again, that's something that Aura has always done a very good job of on the offense. They've been very good at watching flanks and making sure that the primary objective stays safe. And oftentimes that's the hard breacher, but this time it's the diffuser.
Yeah, it was a bit of a questionable move right there from Goni. I think that he thought he was safe to plant the diffuser
Defenders,
in that
protect your
spot.
bombs from being
But
defused by attackers.
we'll be seeing Chipsy Guac move back into the hookah and Hilliard's bomb site.
Trying it again.
It's a bit of a rough start for Chipsy Guac.
I do wanna go back to
Bomb located by attackers.
Goni trying to plant right behind that reinforced wall, because so often that's been the popular spot for the smoke to sit, right? Like, so especially you figure, okay, smoke's got to be back there. That's always where he is because he can access both sites from back there, and he's in relative safety from pretty much everything except for the north side hookah window. But, you know, either way,
5
round
seconds
ended
to
up
go.
working out for Aura. No reason to worry about the sour at the moment.
Attackers
It's
recover
all
the
sweet
diffuser.
for them.
Attacker's objective
We'll
is to
see if
defuse the
Chipsy
bomb.
Guac can get that savory taste back into the mix that we know chips and guacamole are so good for. Thank you, Chips and Guacamole, for existing.
So, unfortunately, I think the tilting is probably affecting Chipsy Guac right now. And it was really just great roam clearing coming out from Aura. Temper had no way to rotate up the main stairs without getting shot by Cloudstruck. You know, if he peeks, he's peeking into an ACOG. And it just really comes down to winning that gunfight. But we'll already be seeing Filthy making a move here. Takes down Temper, takes down Fozo!
Oh!
That'll be 2 very quick kills. Can he land the 3rd? Yes,
A
he will!
third? No
Onto
way!
Zest! Can he find the 4th onto the smoke above? This is turning very south for Chipsy Guac. As Filthy finds 3 very quick frags, and Malachi finds the 4th onto Barracuda, and this is a disaster for Chipsy Guac in the first minute, losing 4 out of 5 members
Attackers have located a bomb.
downstairs.
He talked about how the tilting can be so bad for these guys on Chipsy Guac, and I think that definitely shows because the roams have gotten so incredibly aggressive that a team like Aura that doesn't rely on drones to take down the roamers, that they normally just rely on only the gun skill to do so, they've been able to shut them down. But we'll see if they can shut down Envy, who misses the shots. Cloudstruck once again able to watch the flanks and support his teammates, and eventually is able to take down the smoke that he knows over on that cool vibe stairs area. And once again, the Aura train keeps on rolling, Chris.
This is really, really bad if you're on Chipsy Guac's side. You've lost 8 rounds in a row to Aura. And unfortunately, you know, due to this not being a LAN event, you can't call a timeout and talk amongst yourselves. But, you know, you got to do that during the operator pick phase, during the prep phase, and even during the beginning of the round. But it was just really unfortunate to see 3 members of Chipsy Guac just fall victim to Filthy on that single push
Defenders, protect your bombs
through
from being
Pink Bar.
defused by attackers.
Again, because they fell down to that one single push, it's because they had so many people sticking together on that
Attackers
hard
have
roam
discovered the
that
location
they,
of a
that they
bomb.
all kind of wanted that glory to turn around the game. And instead, it's Filthy getting the glory with a 3K, and I mean, you're getting a 4K too, like that 4. And sometimes that is the way it turns around, and maybe a turnaround is what we can expect from Chipsy Guac, because remember back on Mortar, they lost the first 2 and then turned it all the way around. Or, that's incorrect. Sorry. That's what happened
10 seconds to
to
insertion.
Chipsy Guac. And maybe they need to make that happen
5 seconds
for
remaining.
themselves. Maybe it's a possibility, and maybe they tilt so hard that they start
Attackers have
becoming
recovered their
successful.
diffuser.
But you know,
Attackers
that's
are moving to defuse the
generally not what happens, especially on defense. Like you said, it's that self-destructive roam game that ends up making that appearance.
Right, so we're seeing both Fozo and Zest playing around the couches area, and as well as Barracuda.
말보다는 행동이지.
So, I don't know who, yeah, it's going to be Goni repelling outside of that singular window by the couches. And with the vigil in play, Fozo could be met very soon with Goni, that IQ scanner.
Again, hard roam game. A lot of people in the same area as each other. That's why Filthy ran a train last time, and it looks like he may be ready to start it again because one roamer down on the Vigil. Once again, Filthy is so disgusting with that Jackal.
It's very true. So Zest will rotate out of luggage built into Aquarium, given that Goni was on repel of that singular window. Koshek running out, trying to find exactly where Zest is hiding, but Barracuda will find one onto Filthy, shutting down the hot man. Coming out from Aura. Temper with one onto Goni, so that's 2 members falling here for Aura.
And now that the IQ is down as well, that means that, you know, in theory, the intel would still be there. Not enough or anything there affected. Getting peeked out, but the peaks are working out from Malachi right now as he's able to take down Zest. That's the dot gone, so no more healing for these guys on defense. He sees a foot, so now he knows that somebody is out in that service area. That would be Barracuda, who's already gotten a frag, but could be looking down the barrel of a frag himself.
It's very true with a minute 15 left to play. It's evened out at 3v3. And the attack is stalled out here for Aura. See if they can get anything going, but with Mute Jammers still in play and no Thatcher available.
See you on the other side.
That wall is going to be very hard to open up. Maybe we'll see. And with Goni actually gone, it'll be tough for Aura to be able to open up that wall. But Barracuda finds one onto Affected with that C4, so it's now a 2v3. Unfortunate situation for the attackers. With Cloudcheck and Malachi still in play. This, with at least with these two available alive, I think they can win it out.
Definitely possible, but
clear.
We'll see if slowing down the pace of the game will work out for Gypsy Guac. 30 seconds left on the clock, and the attack is still only just now opened up those walls. So we'll see how they're able to repel the attack. First of all, those toxic waves are going to do wonders for keeping them out and forcing them to rotate elsewhere. And it would be down to just Malachi if he can take down Temper, but Temper will get 2 quick kills at the end of the match. And finally, Gypsy Guac will stop the skid and nail their first victory since their first set on Border. Like that's a while, man.
Yeah, since Gypsy Guac rotated to defense, they have not been able to win a single round. But 9 rounds later, they finally land one in their pocket. And this is also Gypsy Guac's map.
Is their pick. I mean, unsurprising to see them get a W on the defense. And again, you know, on Border, we saw 2 victories in the first round and then a quick 4 comeback from Aura. That's what I'm saying, man. You know, maybe Gypsy Guac can make that turnaround happen.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
So, man, as we get into round number 4, we are back on the second floor. We're going to give hookah and billiards another spin.
Third try.
Yeah, saying, okay, now that we won, maybe now that we got our confidence back, we're not totally shattered by these guys, let's turn it around and let's make this happen. You know, they're not indestructible. We're not going up against, you know, a pro league team. Although,
we're not going up against Vicious.
we're not going up against Vicious, but you know what? I mean, these guys at Aura have proven that they had some pretty solid strats and, of course, pretty solid execution up their sleeves, especially from Filthy, who, I mean, again, just been an absolute monster so far. But, you know, Gypsy Guac won that last round, and you want to take any guesses as to who the first person who went down in round number 3 was? That's right, folks. It was Filthy. And I think that that played a big factor into why that victory fell into the hands of Gypsy Guac, is because they were able to shut him down.
Yeah, that C70 of Jack was so powerful, especially in the first, like, 15 meters, which is normally whenever the average range of a gunfight. But Barracuda will be holding out Pink Bar here, and then Goni shutting down that, I think it was a Goo-mine, maybe? Coming out from Frozo. But Gypsy Guac will have a secure access through to Pink Bar. We'll see how this plays out for Gypsy Guac. See if they can finally win their second round.
Well, it'll take a really solid shutdown of that attack from below, and getting droned out like that is not going to do you any favors, but Cloudstruck is also doing Cloudstruck's doing Aura some favors right now by rushing in with that Bearing 9 and only taking 1 pip of damage. See if Malachi can shut him down behind the bar. Great escape right there from Envy, timing himself perfectly. But meanwhile, the counterattack has begun on the defense. Bozo and Temper both picking up a quick kill. That's on the two big killers right now for these guys on Aura. Cloudstruck and Filthy are both down. And that means Malachi has got to back up and reconsider this approach again.
A bomb has been located.
Effective will go ahead and toss out a nade. Will it find Barracuda? It will not land any kind of damage onto him. Barracuda hopping over the bar. Bozo will meet Malachi. Malachi on 1 HP. Takes down Temper, going for a flank and a very nice shot. Sees Barracuda, but is not able to land the shot in time. Barracuda takes him down. It's now a 2v3. A minute left to go. 1v3 as I say that. Envy shuts down Goni. It's now all up to Affected to grab that diffuser. But can he see the legs? Does he think it's a dead body? He'll shut down Barracuda. It's now a 1v2 with Fozo on 1 HP. With Envy still alive and 3 gas grenades left in hand.
Bomb
This could spell
located by
trouble.
attackers.
Trying to peek up through the floor. Of course, he's not Buck, so he can't open up the floor. And that's great Floor's lava play right there from NV2. He says, man, floor's destructible. I don't want to be anywhere near where I can get fragged and affected. Not looking up the stairs, and somebody is watching down. We'll see.
So Fozo will retreat away safely. Tosses a nade up. But that'll be instantly choked out by Envy's Toxic Babes. And Chipsy Guac will win 3 in a row here against Aura.
That's a sad little screen right there. Man,
That's a bit weird because the gas, he's not even in the gas, but he's still getting affected.
The smallest of fumes can deal the greatest of damage.
That's really strange considering that the gas grenade was exploded at the platform, yet Affected is at the bottom of the stairs. But either way,
Chris, that's a little bit. Yeah. I'm gonna tell you, man. That's a little bit like those stories where like somebody like falls off of like a 10-story building and they have like no injuries, and then it's like, oh yeah, this guy slipped on a curb and died. Like that's the dichotomy I just saw right there. It's like, man, you're gonna eat a grenade, you're gonna get shot by bullets, but like the tiniest little bit of smoke and you just.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate for Affected that he wasn't able to clutch it out.
And defuse
But
bombs.
on the bright side for Chips, they're able to win 3 in a row here. Well, 2 in a row, I should say. At least tying things up. And let's hope that this doesn't affect them in the long run.
Well,
So I would really love to see a map 3.
Dude, I would too. Map 3 situations are always insane. Like you can have your 2-0s and you can say, hey, you know, my team won, whatever. But we all know you love a nail biter. Everybody loves a good nail. But like, if you look at like the greatest sets of all time, none of them are the one. I mean, like, I think the sole exception to that was what we just saw at the Invitationals, and it's not because that Grand Finals was 3-0 in G2's favor. It's because that first round, that first map, which was Coastline, by the way, went, what was it, 22 rounds?
22 rounds.
22 rounds, a record. That you like seeing a long game because that builds up attention. I don't mean to get into psychology or nothing, but you know that's just how it works. But you know, maybe we're kicking in for a longer game here on Coastline because we are tied 2-2, and Aura has got to make the turnaround. They know where the bomb site is. They just need to get the attack online. Now, meanwhile, I do want to point out we are seeing the Alibi come out on defense. And a lot of people will point this operator out as a little bit unorthodox at times, but the fact that, you know, these guys have been able to lock down the roam so quickly and find the positions. I think the drone work has been surprisingly excellent from Aura. Getting those Alibi clones out can really help you confuse the defenders and play a little bit of disruption tactic.
So Cloudstruck was rotating in through kitchen, almost meeting Temper at the bottom of those stairs.
Bomb
Temper will
located
retreat
by attackers.
onto the platform of the full vibe stairs. Malachi's running out. The bomb site. Zest has been let up to a little bit about half HP here. I think he might have gotten into an engagement with I don't even know who. I think maybe Cloudstruck, but I'm not sure. I can't even tell. But Malachi coming in through office, trying to situate what's happening here. He's already gone ahead and used 1 Ash Charge on that blue wall towards the bomb site. Things are coming out. Barracuda will shut down Filthy. It's very unfortunate given that Filthy's been the hot hand for Aura. But, you know, it can't just be the Filthy show. His other 4 teammates need to step up and show that they can prove that, you know, they can win without him.
That's been the key to success for Chipsy Guac right now, being able to shut him down. But speaking of stepping up, IGL Goni, man, able to pick up that kill. We saw that was a problem for him on border, but he's got one now and picked up another, and he is in trouble right now. He's blowing out a mine in the middle of some toxic
C4
smoke.
will actually miss from Barracuda. The plant will continuously go down. It'll actually be planted here. So all Malachi has to do is just watch the crosshair, and that'll be Zest going in for some quick peaks of temper with one. But Malachi instantly shuts down Zest. It's now a 2v3 for the defenders, and they need a retake here. Shots coming out onto Barracuda as he shuts down Goni. It's Malachi with 1 HP and affected in lobby. This could spell trouble with Temper trying to rotate around. Effective will shut him down in the courtyard. 1v2 scenario for Barracuda. Time's running low. 2/3 of the defuse cycle has gone out. Malachi coming around. He'll finally shut down Barracuda, and Aura will win their first round in 3 rounds, and they'll go up 3-2.
Yeah, quickly turning it around right there. And again, the positioning has been such a huge key, not being, tethered down to any one particular place and being fluid. I mean, we see that a lot of strategies are built around keeping certain areas of the map secure because, of course, not all maps are created equal. Some places are better to sit in than others. You don't want to sit directly in the middle of Blue Bar or behind the couch in Blue Bar. You could be chilling out in Sunrise and, taking some quick peeks in from there behind the bar. I mean, that's why we see that one reinforcement behind the couch in Blue Bar and then leaving the other one soft, is so that the attackers won't be able to kill you from back there. You want to have your spots to stay, but the ability to adapt and stay fluid is one of the reasons that Chipsy Guac got shut down there. And more to note, why Aura was able to finish that out. You saw Barracuda trying to find, I think that was Malachi out in the office, and he was looking totally the wrong direction because he figured, okay, diffuser's down here, so this would be the tightest angle to hold, but Malachi was able to stay difficult to lock down, stayed fluid as water. And like you said, man, takes up Aura's first game in a little bit and keeps it from a 3-0 run for these guys on Chipsy Guac, who are going on to their last defense, and we'll see if they are able to hold it down and go in even.
Attackers recovered the diffuser.
Yeah, it'd be a really big boost for Chipsy Guac to land a 3-3 half going into the next part of the round, because this map is although it's dubbed as attacker-sided, it's still a defender-sided meta.
It's an attacker-sided map with a defender-sided, an attacker-sided map with a defender-sided meta, which equals.
Cloud Structure is going to shut down Fozo, taking some shots here from Zest out by the couch.
Except, man, 3 speed does wonders for peaks.
And unfortunately, that's Fozo as well as Elysian dead, so that's a huge loss. And Filthy shutting down Jaeger Temper.
Attackers dropped to the diffuser.
Zest taking down Goni, trying to find some light here, so he'll rotate back down the stairs and be forced to rotate into the lobby. Malachi going for some shots above through the floor. But I don't know if they know exactly that Zest is rotated down into the lobby. So with the hatch open, this could spell a very good proving point for Zest.
And he's been able to be somewhat rock steady so far. Of course, being able to stay alive as a Doc is big news. But speaking of big news, Envy finding that kill onto, I believe that's Malachi. But
wow!
Oh my goodness, he turned it around.
Envy is just insane up here. Finds 2 onto Malachi, and Cloudstruck, but that'll be Filthy tracking down Envy, who's rotated down the Cool Vibe stairs and rotated back into sight.
Once that Jackal track goes on to somebody on site, that's a waste of your resources, and you say, oh man, I could have done better with that. But looks like Filthy's gonna try to pick that up anyways. And hearing those explosions starting to be a little bit of a concern to see if that sledge can back him up.
Filthy's just going into sight without any kind of intel at all. That'll be a very easy frag for Barracuda as he finally lands the last shotgun nail in the coffin. He's also affected here. He'll just instantly get fragged out by Barracuda.
Wow.
And Chipsy Guac move on into the second half, 3-3.
Again, that's exactly what you want to see on Coastline. That is considered a good defense, and they were able to pull it out there at the end. I mean, especially pulling out the SAS boys, man, getting those kills with the SMG-11s, the M590s. Hey, what's in the book, Sean? That's the question I'm asking at this point.
Very well said. So, Moving on, we'll be tied 3-3 compared to the last map where it was a 4-2 split. And we'll be seeing the Chips and Guac move over to the attack as Aura moves over to defense. Filthy trading out that Valkyrie for a castle. Zest switching over to the Ying. And might I add, Zest is probably one of the best Yings that is underrated in NA. I'm pretty sure you haven't really seen Zest's Ying play. But if you give him Ying, it is almost over because Zest will Ying sight, knows exactly where everyone's at, and just frag out everyone. It's unreal how good he is at Ying. So, given that Aura has not banned Ying, this could be bad news for them on this defense.
Now, you've got me excited, but I do want to remind you what happened the last time that Guac went for rushes onto site. They got shut down really quickly by strong anchor games from your boys over on Aura.
10
And
seconds to insertion.
with that castle online to slow down the rushes, with the Echo Drone to disorient Ying. Now, I'm not saying I doubt Zest at all. That is not what I'm saying. I totally believe it. But there's been danger in the water for rushes so far when it comes to Guac. So we'll see if they're able to make that turnaround and make the rushes work. Then you got a guy like Zest, and I'm ready to see what kind of work he's going to put in. First of all, got to make sure you're not getting assaulted by nitro cells from below.
Also felt they were spotted out on Cloudstruck, taking a bit of damage here. I think that's Envy on Repel, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, it was Barracuda on the Repel, taking Cloudstruck down to about 60 HP here. But I think the one reason why we didn't see so much of the roam clear coming out working well for Zest in the Guac last time is because he finds one there onto Envy. It's also because Zest had to play hard reach. So with Zest on hard reach, it's a bit tough, but Temper going for some shots. Onto Filthy, not landing anything just yet. Malachi still playing around, coming around for Filthy with this protection. Filthy with the one tap, hello! Onto Temper, takes down the Ash. Can he go for 3 here onto Zest? Malachi trying to provide cover, he shuts down Zest. After he frags out Filthy, Barracuda sitting outside of the blue bar window. It's a 2v4 for the attackers with a minute 45 left to go, and things are just falling apart for Guac.
That is unprecedented. That is the most aggressive roam I've ever seen before, and you saw how good it was too. Filthy was like, "Oh boy, I'm down on 1 health. Hey Malachi, can you come down here and just get your butt off of Cool Vibe stairs and give me a hand real quick?" And he said, "Sure thing, bro." And the moment he went down, he was able to get the refrag and take it to a 4-2 advantage for Aura, who are sitting pretty on site.
Minute 15 left to play, and a ton of plant denial and intel. This is really rough for Chips and Guac. I don't see them winning this round here unless the defenders on Aura get greedy and try to peek them one by one.
Well, I think that the other thing that they may have going for them is that Affected is the only one that is watching them push in through Aquarium. Now, of course, being in Hookah, you have plenty of angles into Billiards. Barracuda's having trouble taking down that Yokai drone, and eventually he says, "Forget it, I'm going to try to kill all the people that are sitting behind Hookah and get this win."
So first Toxic Bay will come out from Donnie as he's sitting behind Billy's bar. Plant is not going down just yet, but that smoke grenade going through the walls here will prevent Plant from going down. Barracuda on 1 HP behind the Billiards bar. A lot of trouble. Malachi shuts him down, and Malachi with 2.
Whoa.
That'll be a 3K coming out from Malachi, and he shuts down Guac with ease.
That's an aggressive play right there, too. Look at that. Malachi so quickly just popping into the chaos and adding into the mix that Guac had to deal with. And in that last push, it certainly worked out. You gotta have a lot of confidence in your gun skill to pop into the middle of a gunfight like that and say, "Yep, there's a head, click, there's a head, click," and win your team the round. And I want to see more of Malachi on that Jaeger after that. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, just a quick shout out to Malachi. I love you, brother. I'm so proud of what you're doing so far in this Challenger League qualifier. You've been putting so much work, and I really hope that you make it in. I've been following him around for quite a while. I've been friends with him for like over a year. Just seeing him perform and shine, it's really nice. It's really nice to see.
Yeah, you gotta give the shout outs to the homies, bro. Always gotta be behind your boys. That's it. And right now, I mean, that's being behind your boys. I just want to say that is certainly why Aura was able to win that last round, because especially the fact that Filthy got shut down, but then, I mean, so like you said, seeing seeing that Ying is terrifying for Zest because he's so good at it, and being able to shut that down because Zest said,
10 seconds
"Oh
left
man,
before
I gotta take Filthy out of the equation. I gotta make sure that this guy is
5
done,
seconds to
so that I
insertion.
can push the site and this guy just doesn't immediately ace us." And the fact that Malachi
Attackers
was
recovered
there
the
to get behind
diffuser.
his boy, just like
Attackers
you're
are
getting
moving
behind
to
your boy
defuse the bomb.
Malachi. Malachi was behind his boy, able to give him some support and get the refrag, and then eventually just putting everybody behind him and saying, "I'm gonna go ahead and get those kills." And that was the story of round number 7. As we go into round number 8, the story may be that you are in danger on that main
no.
window and avoiding taking even a scratch.
Goni very fortunate not being on the wrong side of that reinforcement. And Barracuda just hitting nothing but solid metal through that wall.
You want to talk about something solid? There is some solid speed going into the second floor clear. They do not want to waste any time clearing these guys out of here. But you gotta watch because Filthy is on Cool Vibe stairs, and we've seen how adept he is when you put a gun in his hands. And that SMG-11 is as fully auto comes. But Envy wants to make the push and flashbang. You're not landing shots on anybody, no matter how good you are, unless you're a bat.
Right, and I think Goni trying to get a bit aggressive there, realizes it's not safe, so he falls back down to sight. Malachi will be posted up inside a kitchen here with 45 left to play out. Zest still alive on 100 HP. The Zine could spell trouble for the defenders on Aura.
Chipsy Guac, man. Rushes and Chipsy Guac goes together like Chipsy Guacamole. Yeah, I would say just like that. Yeah. So it's been working out, at least especially this early into the round. Filthy's already gone,
Bomb diffuser has
but
been
now they've
dropped.
got to get onto the first floor with plenty of second floor control. It's just all about watching those flanks, and you get your boys with the strong power in. And speaking of strong power,
Bomb located
we'll
by
see if
attackers.
Zest is able to make it happen. Affected, gonna peek on through. That's not him getting that kill. Cloudstruck is also going to find one as well. And
Attackers
Malachi
have recovered their
coming
diffuser.
right around. Aura looking to shut down the rush once again. Zest is looking like he's in trouble. But so too is Goni. He gets a little bit too aggressive as Envy will take him down and gets control, at least somewhat, of Sunrise Bar. As Malachi and Struck are both upstairs. We'll see if the rush works out. Zest, will he be able to find the kills? He's got no Candelas left. He's got to rely on his guns and his wits.
Defender has left the designated station.
Malachi just comes strong
Defender
there.
exposed.
He's inside of Pink Bar. He finds Zest. Hello, but Envy will be there to shut him down. It's now a 1v1 with Affected and Envy, but Echo Drone
15
still in
seconds
play
left.
here from the
Attackers
Yokai.
recovered the bomb
Envy will
diffuser.
have to rotate into blue.
10
Yeah,
seconds
that's why I
left.
don't like this rotation from Affected. Or do I like it? I think I enjoy it.
no. That is
But
rough
this
for
is-
Affected. Why didn't he play
Yeah.
the Yokai? He could have just played the Yokai. It was in Pink Bar. Rotate it through. And that's a throw. Big throw coming out from Affected. Use your utility before going for a peek. Wait until the final seconds. Try to get it into the site and disorient him from defusing that bomb. That's a massive waste coming out from Affected. He has the drone in play.
Getting a little greedy and getting a little jokey on the defense side too. Filthy says, "Yo, I've been shutting you down. Let me just put the fear in you of shutting you down hard." Goes back to the mute though. But man, the greed, I think, on the defense is not something that we have seen too much from Aura. They've been focusing on the solid anchoring,
Attackers
and when
need to
they have been on
locate
the
and
room,
defuse
they
as
haven't
many
been
bombs as
going
they
for at least large volumes of huge peaks, although we did see it work out for Malachi, again, on that defense, round 7, man, running right into a hail of bullets to get yourselves the kills, so, there've been a couple of instances of some greedy plays, but that time really not working out for the defense. You gotta reconsider and just say, hey, you got your IGL, you gotta sit down and say, hey, get yourself together, focus on winning and not on, running up the score. You ain't count.
10 seconds left.
Reflecting back on that last round, just a big throw coming out from Affected. I don't know if he knew that he had the Echo Drone in play, or if it was disoriented or what.
Attackers
The
have
attackers
recovered the
coming out
diffuser.
from chips
Attackers are
have the
moving to
Thatcher.
defuse a bomb.
You have the utility to play out with it. Just use the utility before
Attacker's
you go
bomb
make a
diffuser
peek.
has been
I mean, it was a
dropped.
nice attempt,
Attackers
but
recovered the
just play
diffuser.
smarter.
A
Don't
bomb
play
has
dumb.
been located.
It also comes down to, like, you know, probably nerves and just wanting to make a flashy play, or I think the reason why Filthy was on the Tachanka there is because he was yelling and affected.
It's possible.
That's one possible reason. But either way, we'll see Cloud Struck on the white stairs here. And we'll go ahead and drone out the aquarium and billiards area.
Man, this upstairs clear has worked out pretty well for Chips and Guac so far. It's just all about how they can make that rotation back around the first floor. And it was real dicey for them in that last round that it was able to work out. But again, second floor controlled firmly in their favor as they are able to take down Goni from up top. And now down goes
That is
Affected.
those are two very big impact frags because it's all your Planta now just off the board. Your Smoke and your Echo are dead. Why is Affected peeking?
Your only anti-point utility now is that Nitro
Oh no,
again. You
Malachi
have
going
to
for a
question.
very hard potato. Doesn't even land a down onto Envy. He'll pay the price.
You have to question the aggression, man. Gypsy Guac has been able to turn around on the aggression, but Filthy able to turn around for one kill. Don't know if he's going to be able to find more than that after this second, but damn it if he won't try. But once again, see that IQ getting once again another kill. Fozo doing so well of just watching those flanks. And man, it's time for Aura to change up the defense and play far less aggressively because it's the conservative defense that's been working out. And, you know, they got a round win out of the aggression. That's great. It was flashy. Everybody loved it. But you got to slow down now because Gypsy Guac is starting to roll.
Yeah, it was a bit of a very quick round to come out there from Chip's side of things. It's all started with Envy bucking from above and Hookah taking down Goni through the floorboards. And I think Goni thought he could land the frag, but instead of playing it safe and running away, decided to challenge and paid the price for it. And of course, it's really unfortunate to see that Malachi didn't even get it down and just potatoed maybe 90% of his shots onto Envy. I think he only landed maybe 2 onto the buck, pushing in through the billiards and instantly critted out from Fozo on the roof.
I mean, and that's what he's saying, right? Is that, you know, sometimes you don't want to challenge the people that already have the initial advantage on you. Malachi was already shooting at the buck, and so Buck says, all right, I'm going to continue running away in the direction that I was going so I can get around this corner, and then turn around and get the kills on Malachi as he now has to reload because he messed up his shots. And, you know, you're in a good position because you didn't overextend and put yourself in a bad situation. Bad situation is what Aura's got to dig themselves out of now. Because they're down 5-4 and defense has got to start rolling.
A quick update here on the scoreline. Something is the first. I'm sorry. Vicious versus Something is the first match to finish up, and Something loses. I'm sorry. Vicious wins 14-3. So it was a quick 2-0 for Vicious.
Unsurprising to do that.
Yeah, I mean, it was the number 1 seed against the number 16 seed, and they had some roster changes going into it. And they didn't really have a whole ton of practice with that new roster, so it's I guess you could say it's not expected, or it is expected.
Certainly expected to see Vicious taking games. Yeah. I don't know what to expect out of the rest of this though. Wow. Malachi, is he gonna get? He gets aggressive again, and Fozo will punish him again for getting aggressive when he's down on that 1 health and made him pay for it. Now the Castle and the Jaeger are down and they're falling apart, man. Aura is starting to fall apart due to, I think, sort of what we saw in Gypsy Guac doing on Border, is they're just leaning in a little bit too much. They're doing the game early. They're going in too hard, and they're getting punished for just wanting to get those kills out of the way and reset the momentum.
Yeah, I feel like Malachi probably would have played it a little safer had he gone for a bit of a more passive pick. But Affected's going to get super aggressive and pay the price. Why are you peeking out onto Zest on the hookah balcony? You're Echo. You're the most important piece of utility on the defense. Stop getting so aggressive and making these plays. There's no point in making them.
There's gonna have to be a little bit of a sit down with that Echo there after this, but not if Goni has anything to say about it. 2 kills online right now, and he's gonna stuff out that approach and make his rotation into billiards where the attack is happening, but runs right into the asphyxiating bolt. I would say that Goni is a little dead.
Well, that's interesting. You see the smoke bolt coming out from the you see a firebolt coming out from the smoke loadout.
Visual effects aside, man.
Yeah, so either way, this is looking really bad for Aura. They've lost what, I think maybe 3 in a row, if I'm not mistaken.
It's tough for them.
Yeah,
I think,
it's 3 in a row. It's 3 in a row because they were up 4-3 and then they're now at 4-6.
Mm-hmm.
So
there's your quick math with Uzum9ki.
Yeah, had a little bit of help from Big Shaq.
Yeah.
So.
Oh my god, dude! My buddy, my static co-caster actually for Smash, neighbor. We were driving up to a tournament in Oklahoma the other weekend, and he showed me that for the first time. I thought that was just, but he showed me the whole video, and I was like, oh my god, I can't understand half of the stuff.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
Yeah.
I can't understand half of the stuff that's going on in this match,
Yeah,
because I mean, Aura started off so strong, right?
Yeah.
Aura started off extremely strong. They looked like they had control, especially after Border. Looked like they were just going to start
located
rolling
by
through
attackers.
Chippy Guac, and then all of a sudden, you know, when the momentum got turned around on them, they just wanted to keep pushing back and pushing forward, and you know, especially, you know, seeing that Echo go for 3 really aggressive plays when he should be playing
That was
back.
really stupid. That,
10
I'm
seconds
gonna put it
left.
out there. That's affected being dumb, trying to make a play that doesn't need to happen, and
seconds
he's
left.
paying the price against it. It reminds me of Nyx when he first joined
Attackers have recovered their
DZ,
diffuser.
who was formerly known as
Attackers are
SK at the
moving to
time.
defuse a bomb. The attacker's bomb diffuser has
And it
been
was
dropped.
just a
Attackers
really
recovered
bad
the bomb
showing from
diffuser.
Nyx because he was making really dumb plays as Echo. He thought he could out-peak these pros, and granted, these are pros. They're trying to make it into Challenge League, but it's just dumb play after dumb play after dumb play, and it's just reminding me so much of how Nyx used to play. But Nyx, he's calmed himself down with the coaching coming out from BC and Bacon. It's really helped him out a lot, and he's really progressed as a player. But affected, barely turned 18 on February 3rd, and it's just tough to see these plays happening.
You gotta have somebody to throw the reins on somebody like that, man. You gotta slow them down when they're getting in like that. But you are not slowing down Zest at any time. Filthy tries to do it himself, and now Zest once again catching that aggressive peek from Malachi. 2 entry kills, and maybe looks for a 3rd in the courtyard as he puts down some suppressive fire and says, "Envy, get a sight line on that man." But it's Barracuda that will
all
do
falling
has been
apart for
located.
Aura. This is
It's-
horrible.
This is looking like the exact reverse of what we saw on Border, dude.
Uh-huh.
Because
Envy is gonna miss.
You know what happens now? How effective is going to get too aggressive, trying to turn the game around, and it's going to be down to Goni, and maybe he just gets overwhelmed in a 1v5 situation. But yeah, once again, coordinated rushes come out effectively. Zest having a nice little round for himself as Gypsy Guac were able to take map number 2, Coastline, their map. And just an effective showing of what happens when you can slow the game down and control the pace of play. And they had Aura running at them wild, and that's why we're going to the decider on map number 3.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate to see Gypsy Guac. I'm sorry, not Aura just lose like that. But we'll be having a 1-minute break on the chip side, and that'll actually give me time to go to the bathroom because I've been needing to go since the beginning of that match. So we'll just go ahead and flip the screen here real quick.
Yeah, catch a quick break. We'll see you guys for map number 3, baby.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see.
That is really rough. Alrighty, we are moving on very quickly here into the third and final map of this best of 3 series between Aura and Guac. I am
Rocketing
Uzum9ki. I'm Uzum9ki alongside Comona, and this has been a very interesting series so far.
Yeah, Chris, I would say it certainly has been. We saw what looked like almost a steamroll near the end of map 1. It looked like Aura was absolutely not going to be stopped by Guac, who just wanted to get right back into the action. And, you know, map 2 looked like it was going to carry on, and then Guac turned it right back around, won so many consecutive matches, especially on the attack, which is, you know, exactly what we saw over on Border for map 1. Coastline map 2, Guac turns it around, puts in some new strategies and a new spin on things that it looked like Aura wasn't able to make the adaptations towards. And that would have to come on the decider of map 3, which is going to be Villa, a popular decider, I've noticed, by the way. It seems that a lot of teams don't necessarily have any animosity or love towards it. But speaking of things that teams may have a certain love for, Guac are not going to be too happy about losing that Ying, because we saw that there was plenty of that working out for them on Coastline.
Yeah, it looks like Aura's ready to adapt and shut down Zest by forcing that Ying out of play, given how strong it was. Like, you know, when I mentioned it when Guac switched over to the attacker side, I mentioned just how strong Zest would be on that Ying, and, you know, he proved me right.
And I would say that I believe it. I'm going for a Naruto pun. Anyways, going into game number 1, or round number 1, rather, of match number 3.
Defenders, protect your
We're going to be
bombs from being
seeing
defused by
who will
attackers.
take this full game as we go on to Villa. Now, interesting to note, this time around, we are not starting off on Aviator, which so many people have just simply defined as the best site to defend. But Chris, this time we're opting for the statuatory room on the other side of the second floor.
Yeah, it's a bit interesting, but not surprising, at least to me, Kobe, because it's either this site that you see or Aviator Games. I know, I think it was Kix that I mentioned. Say like AVG is like a type of
5 seconds
way
to
to
go.
simplify it. AVG, Aviator Games.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah,
That makes
so
sense.
I mean, I'm
Attackers
probably not
cover
gonna
the
use
bomb
that, but
diffuser. Attackers'
it's one way
objective
to
is to
simplify
locate a bomb
Aviator
and
Games, so
defuse
you'd
it.
have to say so much. It's a bit of a mouthful. But we'll
Hey,
be
good to
seeing-
know. Good to know when Road to SI comes back around, then I want to flex on people.
Yeah. So we'll be seeing Aura on attack first. So we'll skip the Guac on defense. So being banned, I think it'll be a dent in the side of Zest's playbook here. And with the castle coming out to play, we're seeing a bit of a heavy roam game coming out from Guac and playing on the Aviator game side of things, and we'll see how Aura adapts to it.
Yeah, it's an interesting difference finding that yokai drone. But I think it's interesting that the defense has more and more just shifted to holding that south side of the map and making sure that that's what you have, you know, controlled, because it's such a big map, right? That you feel like controlling so much of the map wouldn't be as much of an issue, and you just have to work on slowing down the push from the attackers. But it looks like Guac actually wants to properly control this side of the map.
Malachi has gone ahead and rotated down. Here's shots coming out from the east side on the 90 hall. That'll be Fozo down, and Malachi trying to land some shots and land the headshot. Not able to do so just yet, shooting on the wrong side, but Malachi will shut down Fozo! That is huge, and a lot of plants are now off the board. Meanwhile, Tender will take things down to his own hands, and Filthy has been down and finished off by Zest.
Ball on the right, back to that center hallway, and now back onto the secure stairs onto the side of the map. You know, we see how Cool Vibe Stairs is a safe stairway, and you have it right here on Villa as well. But, man, I just want to go back to, once again, Malachi getting so aggressive, you know, trying to get those kills for himself, and he does end up winning the interaction, but peeking somebody with a pixel peek with the deployable shield all the way down at the end of that hallway, that is brave nearly to a fault, I would say.
So Gunner's going to go ahead and jump out the stairs, finds Zest on that drone, which will force him to rotate down onto the first floor. up the astronomy stairs. So Cloudshot will go ahead and set up a claymore, and Goni
A bomb has
actually
been
very
located.
close to meeting Zest on those stairs, but Goni would go in for a solo push, I should say, outside of bathroom.
Maybe trying to find a little bit of a blind spot early in defense. Normally that's the sort of thing you see very late in it. But speaking of late, I feel like it's a little bit late to be trying to push that bedroom. I feel like that is something that
Running
you
out of
have to
time.
nip in the bud early. And the fact that you have the diffuser on the other side of the map,
Yeah,
yeah, this
spot
is
diffuser
poor
has been dropped.
and now unwinnable. Quick frag outs from the defense.
That is absolutely terrible coming from Aura. It's a bit of a. It really came down to time management there. Their time management was really, really, really bad, as you could tell. You know, Goni's barely going into the master bedroom with 15 seconds left to go. He's only used one thermite charge, and the site's over on, you know, trophy statuary. Why have they not rotated around to master? What's happening?
That's been one of the issues that's been plaguing Aura, at least on the attack, is that I feel like they're more likely, especially, you know, watching. I caught up on a couple of clips of them. In fact, one when I commentated them back when they were Water and Brew, I had a map of them on Bank, and it seemed like more
Attackers
often than
need to
not,
locate
especially
and
on the
defuse
bigger
the
maps,
bomb.
they tend to not get fragged out on bigger maps. They tend to fall victim more to their own poor time management skills. So, you know, a little bit of a head scratcher and trying to run around that thermite to master bedroom for only 15 seconds. You have to assume that nobody's back there. And with 4 people alive on defense, of course somebody is going to still be watching it. So if they can get the time management down, otherwise that attack looked pretty good. The roam clear wasn't totally horrible, but man, see if they can turn it around, man. That's the only thing they got left.
Yeah, and also one thing to note, Villa is probably
5 seconds to insertion.
it is the most defender-sided map. So
Attackers recover the bomb diffuser.
if
Attackers
Aura is
locate
able to
and
at
defuse the
least,
bomb.
you know, win 2 out of 6 rounds on attack, they'll be in pretty good shape. It's the same thing how we saw with SSG versus G2. SSG was on attack first. They were down 4-2. They were up, you know, they were in pretty good standing on the defender-sided map and the defender-sided meta. And, you know, hopefully we'll see Aura learn from their mistakes, drone out everything that they need to, and not push site with the last 15 seconds.
Well, if they have the Ashe running in at the beginning, and if Malachi does not take his time as much with Filthy to support him, then maybe they
Bomb
will do a
located
little
by
bit of a better
attackers.
job on that. I think that oftentimes we have seen that sort of attack and roam clear come out from both Filthy and Malachi, is that Filthy moves up to support the Ashe, and they go for a quick clear, and they say, all right, we're good to go. I don't see any footsteps. Let's get in there and actually start attacking the site. And with 2 minutes left, they've already gotten the statuatory side of the second floor cleared out. It's all about getting those anchors down. You can see Cloudstruck with the Thatcher is outside of that balcony. But speaking of being way outside of your operation, though, Temper is all the way down in the basement.
It's very true. So Temper could go for a surprise flank onto Filthy up on these east red stairs. I don't even think Filthy's aware of his location or even his presence.
It's a good place to be holding, man, and I think that that'll definitely take advantage and punish these guys for poor time management, which, of course, you know, you saw it in the last time. You say, hey, let's get ready for that, but Malachi ready to watch the back, and Temper not going to be getting that flank, pulled the trigger a little bit too early on that roam. That means that Malachi can breathe a little bit easier as they start to get into Games Room, or into Aviator Room, rather.
Attackers bomb
Because
diffuser
that
has
wall
been
is
dropped.
going to start to get open so long as they can avoid the impact trick. One frag grenade goes over, but it'll get tagged by the ADS. And Envy will get tagged in the meantime by Cloudstruck, who on 1 HP is still trying to find another.
Yeah, so 40 seconds left to play here. Attackers have
A
man
bomb has
advantage,
been
and
located.
Zest has been down, going for a reset, I believe. But no, Filthy will actually frag him off the board. Malachi moving in with the smokes to cover his presence. Diffuser is not in the hands of the attackers, because it was in the hands of Goni sitting inside a study.
Attackers have
So
recovered
Malachi
their
will have to
diffuser.
retrieve that, but it'll actually be Filthy going for a plant here. Plant's coming down. Fozo not getting on his echo drones. That'll be Malachi going for cover, trying to
Attackers
provide
are
some
activating
presence
the
inside of
diffuser.
vaults, which will be Fozo.
And now it's down down to Fozo to spearhead that push inside. We'll be able to get one, but Filthy will turn it around and get one more, and that is the Filthy that we are used to seeing.
Filthy just being absolutely filthy there, being able to provide the cover with the smoke onto Malachi, able to rotate through that aviator room. And, you know, despite Goni being lost, they were able to get the plant down successfully. I'm not exactly sure where Fozo's Echo Drones were. I don't even know if they were in play at the time that I was trying to figure things out. But
Well,
either
it's
way,
entirely possible. They did have the Thatcher, you know, on the attack.
That's
from
true.
Cloud. It's possible that just totally got taken out.
That's very true. I didn't think of that. That the Thatcher probably just, you know, wasted those Echo Drones, able to get the plant off. But even so, the Echo Drones are only shut down for about, what, 5-10 seconds, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
10 seconds, yeah.
10 seconds. Yeah, so even then, they had the attackers
Defenders,
pushing in
protect your
through.
bombs from being
It wasn't
defused by
until Filthy
attackers.
rotated in through Study and came up with the diffuser for the plant that, you know, Fozo still had enough time to go ahead and shock down the Jackal planting, but whatever. You know, we're now tied up. Chips Aura has finally won one of their 2 needed attack rounds, and hopefully they can keep the streak going.
Yeah, looking for them. You know, especially feels good to win a game on Aviator Games. You know, I think that's constantly been considered the
10
best
seconds
site on
left
this
before
map, and I would not be surprised for
5
a
seconds
similar
insertion.
strategy to come out from the attack. But it's about how it changes on
Attackers
the
recover the
defense. I think
diffuser. Attackers
mostly
must
if you
locate
set
and
up the
defuse
same
bomb.
defense, I think it still works out pretty well for Chips Guac, because if Temper holds back on those red stairs and waits for that push a little bit longer, and, you know, comes in and punishes that poor time management game, I think that could really look out. But once again, you can see Temper is going for an aggressive peek on these guys that are coming into memory.
Wow, Malachi barely
is
missed
going to
Temper.
lock him down. Yeah.
Oh man, that was really close for Temper. Barely escaping with his life there, not getting his head cut off. And he'll instead decides to rotate back into sight.
Smart move.
Bomb has been located.
At that point, your last ditch is to go down red stairs, and that's where you were last time. So of course the attackers are going to check again.
So Malachi just waiting for Filthy to give him some info, checking to see if there's any footsteps that might have come through. So Filthy and Malachi will start their entry going in through the statuary room, and that'll be Zest on the opposite side of the 9th hall prone. Waiting for the attackers to make their move.
Zest has been really good on the frag so far, particularly on defense. Malachi
Taking down the
Yes.
bulletproof cam.
and yeah, then reaching charge to get that camera. So now intel denied from the defense. All that stands in their way is a goo mine, and you can hear that got popped quickly by Filthy.
Yeah, so Zest has instead rotated into games and is now made his move into Vault. Tempered the solo roamer for Chipsy Guac downstairs in the main lobby. So CloudStrike's going to be joining out here.
Wow.
So Temper has been found out underneath. Very good IQ to come out from CloudStrike to drone that spot out. So we'll be seeing another push coming into the B bomb site from Filthy and Malachi. Trying to go ahead and open up the study wall. Looking into Vault. That'll be Filthy tracking down who exactly? Temper. So Temper will have that last Jackal ping underneath, so he will be denied that roam flank. That'll force Aura to at least have some kind of flank presence. Or at least some kind of flank watch presence, I should say.
Smoke grenade. Again,
Attackers
normally
have
that is
located
something that Aura's been very good at. You have Malachi on the attitude, so Goni is in some big trouble because he's got the goo mine in, which means he can't escape. You can't escape, son, but neither can the defenders escape the might of the mighty attacker ACOGs. CloudStruck looking for another as he's ready for that rotation from the Jaeger, and once again, Filthy going absolutely nuts, but boy is it kicking off right now.
Yeah, so Fozo sees the gun barrel coming out there from
Attackers
Filthy.
recover
He
the
has a
bomb
nice
diffuser.
angle to shut him down should Filthy move in. Sees his knee, shoots him down a bit, but CloudStrike will start to plant that defuse.
Too aggressive, too
10
aggressive.
seconds
He's
left.
given away his position. He hasn't done
Attackers
meaningful
are
damage
activating
to
the
Filthy.
diffuser.
And now with the diffuser down, it's up to Temper at 1 HP to give him the support that he needs. But again, That flank watch has been so good on the attack, but it's not the flank that is a problem. It's Fozo who's going to get refragged by Filthy, who now only needs to, along with his teammate, take down the Jaeger, and so Affected will land that shot, and Aura will go up 2-1.
Very nice shot there to come out from Affected. And Aura move on to their first 2 attack wins. So that's a very great job to come out from Aura. They have their 2 attack wins needed, and it's very early on too. So they can sit pretty well, knowing that they have a comfortable spot coming into this next round. But, you know, it's a bit of a shame to see how crumbling it is for Chipsy Guac here. You know, like the chips are probably the guac is a bit too hard for the chips right now.
Yeah, definitely snapping the chip in the guac right now. Oh man, you gotta get another chip to dig it out. But can't fall back on extra chips. It's just the 5 boys that are there to lock it down. And I think honestly,
Defenders protect
I'm looking
your
at
bombs from being
what's
defused
going
by
on right
attackers.
now, and I'm looking at the way that Chipsy Guac has been losing their matches so far. I feel like on defense, they've just really struggled with those wide open
Located by
bomb sites,
attackers.
right? I feel like that, especially on games in Aviator Room, there's a lot of long sight lines, and they struggle to hold themselves together when they're on there, especially on Border as well, where they had a lot of trouble, and they went down to Aura. You saw that on the defense, they were falling apart on those big bomb sites where the ACOGs were locking them down, and they weren't able to win those gunfights, whereas
10 seconds
Coastline is a
remaining.
little bit more compact in close quarters as far as engagements go. So,
5 seconds
you know,
remaining.
going back to statutory and say, okay, we won back here. Let's go for. Oh
Attackers
no, sorry,
recovered
this
the
is
bomb
on.
diffuser.
Yeah,
Attackers
this is the
objective is
dining
to
and
defuse
kitchen
the
area.
bomb.
Yes, this is
Attackers
actually
have
on
dropped the
first
bomb
floor. So,
diffuser.
again, you know, we'll
Attackers
see how
recovered
this
the diffuser.
style of bomb site plays out. I think the big key to this is, has Aura noticed that it's been the open bomb sites that have been a problem for Chipsy Guac? And if so, if they've noticed that, the push has got to be onto kitchen rather than
Attackers dropped the diffuser.
rather
Attackers
they
have
need to
recovered
avoid
the
a push
diffuser.
onto kitchen rather than anything else, because kitchen tends to be very close quarters, and if they go into the other bomb site, it's a little bit longer, and they can establish a lot of lines of sight.
The
Yeah,
attacker's
possessed
bomb
on the
diffuser
pulse
has
here,
been
playing
dropped.
underneath with temper.
Attackers recovered the bomb
This could
diffuser.
prove very vital for the defenders of Chipsy Guac, and probably spring them back to life to tie things up. We'll see how this plays out, and even if maybe even if the defenders are able to drone out underneath, that first track will come down onto temper underneath, so they know, at least on the Aura side, that there's at least one playing downstairs. But with Zest here providing some cover and some crossfires, this could be some big trouble for Aura.
Again, gotta lock down that roam game. Worked out the past couple of rounds on Aviator games, but we'll see, man. It can be an issue, especially if you've got the pulse locking you down. Now he's got the eyes on the one right outside here, but he's not at the window just yet. Now Cloudstruck could be in a problem. He sees that the secret hatch is open, but the pulse is nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, so Zest is rotated back down all the way downstairs to provide some cover. Play with temper. The Envy and Affected trading each other out, so the card breach has been shut down. A very big impact frag, but a lot of plants now are gone, so I think that's a worthy trade. Shots coming out from Frozo on a very tight angle onto Cloudstruck, but not landing anything just yet.
And once again, that's them realizing, that's Chipsy Guac realizing that they gotta lock down those big sites, because that's where Aura is most likely to attack. But as things kick off, 45 seconds left, they've got the shots on the defenders, and they've narrowed down the locations where they are. So it's all
Bomb
about
located
how
by
they
attackers.
take advantage of it. Now, of course, Aura needs to get some people down on first floor. Most of the big impact plays are being made on the second floor, and they don't have a whole lot of control on the first floor. Temper is certainly showing you that, sticking over on the kitchen stairs. So if Cloudstruck is able to get in alongside Malachi, maybe they can make some action happen.
Temper going for some shots here right by Malachi's head. That's going to be down here by Temper. Wow, Malachi with the one onto
seconds
Temper.
remaining.
Instant trade. He does not have the diffuser in hand. He needs to pick it up and go for the plants. Shots coming out from Barracuda. Malachi with the very nice shot onto Barracuda's head, and plants going down. It's all up to Fozo in a 1v3, but he'll be shut down by Affected, and that'll be a round win for Aura, excuse me. and they'll go up 3-1 on Villa.
On attack, and they've got the opportunity to win even more rounds on attack. We were talking about the concern of time management. That one went down to 15 seconds, but it all came down to landing your shots. I mean, really, if you are better at landing your shots than the other team, it is trivial to win rounds so long as you can put together even half-ass strategies. And the fact that Malachi was able to land an insane shot that allowed him to put that diffuser down there at the end was the whole difference maker. We should, by all means, be at 2-2, but Malachi is kind of a god.
Yeah, Malachi with... I was probably maybe a 2 to 3 pixel shot in Malachi's favor.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
And the fact that he's able to land that shot, oh my god, Malachi is absolutely feeling it. He does not want to lose. And given that this is a defender-sided map, this spells really big trouble for Guac.
I mean, now, we were talking about earlier how they got to lock down Filthy. Right now, I feel like they got to lock down Malachi, because I think after, you know, a subpar performance on Coastline, you come on to map number 3 and you start landing shots, and especially round 1. He landed a shot thread needle through the deployable shield on the pixel peak for the Legion in the Hulk. And that time, like you saw, they were assaulting the site and getting one for himself as well. Malachi definitely proving that he is worth being on this team and wants to prove that Aura can move along. But now they've got to try to attack a site that they have already lost once. Guac to turn it around and at least come out even 3-3.
Yeah, bringing up the scoreboard here, Malachi and Filthy have 5 each to their name, with Affected and Cloud Struck with 3. And so far through these 4 rounds, it's been very fruitful for the attackers, and which is really strange because this is Villa. It's the best defender-sided map in the game, and you're losing 3 out of 4 defense rounds so far. This is not spelling good trouble, and it looks like Aura's adapted their attack strategy. Instead, they're going to attack the master bedroom immediately instead of trying to push through study and clear out the roamers.
I like that, because I think they realized that the last time, or that Aura realized the last time they tried to push through study and control the entire map, they said, okay, that's just a gargantuan task. We're not going to be able to control the entire map and then be able to clear out the anchors. Malachi, that's the disengage we like to see for Temper, but he's actually going to go for a pretty aggressive turnaround at the moment.
Abused the silent drop there, where if you spam crouch and drop through the hatch, you can drop silently. So I don't even know if the attackers coming out from Aura are aware of his presence down here.
Ruining the competitive integrity. Hey, if it's in the game, you use it unless it's something absolutely game breaking. And some people would argue that something like that it's not playing the game as intended, but hey, it's minor.
I mean, when you think about it, it's kind of game breaking. The Temper lands one and Zest with another. Filthy and Cloudstruck are dead, so Uzum9ki off the board spells very good for Guac. And like I was trying to say earlier, silent dropping, in my opinion, is a game-breaking bug, because that's intel that you're not receiving.
On an already sparse attacker
I remember,
intel,
I think it was Fabian or Pengu. I don't remember who. But Temper's getting very close to Malachi here. Will he win the gunfight? No, he won't. Will be lit up to about 70 HP. Zest on a close-by roam takes down Malachi.
Ooh. Zest, really good support to prevent the rotation around. And Foso also able to take down Affected. It's down to Goni, who hasn't gotten a frag on Villa yet. But if he pulls this out, the 4 frags that he gets here are worth more than the 19 that were on round 1. But
that's really bad, because he's going up against a shotgun.
We've seen how powerful the shotgun is in that area. I mean, you were watching Liquid. You were watching them play. You saw the clutches over there. Not exactly a clutch, but is able to finish out the round for Guac right there with the shotgun. Very powerful in close quarters. And now, once again, going back down to the first floor, we shall see if Guac can salvage this defense and bring it to 3-3, or if they are going to be in dire straits when they hand off that defensive side over to Aura.
Yeah, so in all honesty, right now, Aura's sitting very, very, very nicely. They've proven their defense is very formidable. at least on the first map. They're on the second map on Coastline. It was a bit rough to see. Granted, it was Chipsy Guac's map, but
Defenders,
with the
protect
Ying
your
coming
bombs
in
from
and
being
Zest
defused
just
by
ruining
attackers.
everything in sight with those Candelas and just pushing in very smoothly, it was really rough for Aura to defend. But this is the decider map. It's defender favored, and we've seen just how strong Aura's defense can be. And since Ying is banned, Zest won't have a whole lot of fun on attack next round.
Zest will have to find another way to turn it around, but he's got one more round right now on defense to work out whatever he wants
seconds
with
to go.
this Valkyrie. We'll see how this defense gets set up now. Of course, again,
5 seconds
longer
left before insertion.
sight lines on this bomb site. I think it was played relatively well for the
Attackers
most part
recovered the diffuser.
the last time that
Attackers'
it was
objective is to
selected.
locate a bomb
Gosh,
and
you can see
defuse
that
it.
4 people at the same spawn. This could be actually a pretty hard rush on the last attack because you figure, hey, why not? We'll see how that works out. And speaking of which, by the way, the strategies haven't changed much. I mean, like I said, it's kind of rock steady for these guys on Aura so far, doing a lot of the same stuff over and over. And you can see that the operators have not really changed from them at all. And that's, again, they've got the game plans that they want to execute, and they're pretty good at them. But it's all about whether or not that gets knocked off. And
wow.
Speaking of getting knocked off, Cloudstruck is ready.
Temper was so ready to peek out Cloudstruck, but Cloudstruck read him like a book and just slaps him off the face of the earth. Oh my goodness. Wow.
Close the book, dude. Put
Wow.
a dog ear in it and put it back on the shelf. You can't just be leaving your book open for somebody to read you like that.
That is tough if you're Temper. You gotta be upset with yourself after that.
I know that Villa's got a library in it, man, but I mean, come on,
That's
man.
rough.
You gotta get this guy. You gotta have some advanced reading material in there.
So Envy just trying to still open up this shotgun with this wall with the shotgun. It's not proving to be much of an effect, and Barracuda still has an impact in his hand, but with Envy only having about 2 shotgun shells to his name, and an SMG-11 with a minute and a half to play, could be a bit of a trouble. He could be in trouble for this next minute 25.
And right now, Affected's got a line onto that main area of the kitchen from up there. Quickly incoming. Here's Cody opening up the wall, so that means that things could be kicking off on the attacker side with the Legion already down.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Got the man advantage for the attack from Aura. We'll see if they're able to do anything else with it. It looks like the mute over there, or rather the smoke, or
Yeah, it's
Attackers
Barracuda,
recovered the bomb.
yeah, Castle, sorry, has not noticed that drone that spots him. We'll see if that plays out to him getting peeked out.
It's very good running coming out here, but Bozo able to finish off Filthy. So Jackal dead, and also one of the hot hands coming out from Aura is dead in the next 40 seconds, as well as the only smoke. And as we've seen for Aura, their pushes rely heavily on Filthy being able to use those smoke grenades. So with him out of the picture, it's really tough for Aura to make moves into the site now without getting picked.
Especially 30 seconds left, man. We've seen them struggle with low on time, but we've also seen them win around on time. So keep your eyes peeled as Envy is able to take down one, and Bozo takes another. Another kill on the refrag from Bozo. It's down to 1, but that 1 could make all the difference as Cloudstruck has 7 seconds to make a play.
Moving on, and he'll be easily crossfired by Envy and Zest, and that'll be a 3-3 split here for the defenders. Not what Chipsy Guac would have liked going on into their attack, but they'll have to settle for that.
Salvage what you can, man. If your car's about to fly off the cliff, you might as well at least get yourself out of the car before it goes off. Although things are certainly not that dire for Chipsy Guac, and I'm sure they're saying, hey, if Aura can do that on attack, why can't we?
Yeah, I completely... Wait, what? No. What? Why are people saying that the map score isn't up? Oh my god.
It's 3-3, baby. WYM, what you mean? I'm wondering... Now, I wonder, WYD, what you do if you are Chipsy Guac right now. How do you turn around the attack? And how do you replicate the momentum that Aura built up? Because you said it yourself. Defensive-sided map for sure, Villa is. It's one of the most defensive-sided maps in the game. So, how do you shut down a solid defense that is played by the book every single time? by these guys on Aura. Again, by the book, they see the strategies that work, and they go, okay, I want this one, and we'll execute them really well. And we just have to make sure that we don't fall apart. And I think a lot of that utility that Gypsy Guac is bringing on their attack is meant to make things fall apart. Dokaibi can make you panic, and you can get shut down if you're a roamer. Hibana can engage you quickly from a distance. And of course, a Twitch drone, I don't need to tell you why that can make a defender panic.
Normally you wouldn't see a Twitch played out in competitive unless there's a mirror played. But in my opinion, I think Temper's just mostly going to be using it for the gun because there's really not a whole lot he can really shut down with that Twitch drone, given that he only has 10 shocks. I find it very rare for him to find all 3 ADSs, 4 bandit batteries, and 4 meat jammers with those 2 Twitch drones. There's absolutely no way that Aura will let that happen.
I wonder the philosophy behind bringing Twitch specifically, but
mostly just because of the gun. It's the F2. It's the best gun on the attacker side.
it's certainly one of the best. I can't disagree with that.
So Malachi has relieved the role of Jaeger over to Affected, a very great choice, in my opinion. Affected shines more on those fragging roles compared to a supportive role such as Echo or Glaz. But, we really haven't seen Glaz because we've seen Gypsy Guac ban that operator time and time again.
And hey, you can't blame him, man. That operator is powerful.
Yeah, and if you've seen Malachi throughout the past few qualifiers, you've seen how good his SMG-11 play is. And especially Affected on that Jaeger. It's a very good call for Malachi to make that move. Actually, Goni and Malachi, I think. So, we'll see how this plays out. The first minute 40, first Dokkaebi call is going to be coming out from Fozo. Barely making his way over to the master bedroom side, and Zest will go ahead and open up the wall.
Okay. Impact Trick tries to come out, but not going to affect the Hibana, especially onto that corner. That is such a good turnaround right there, and a great place to throw those XK pellets. But once that bottom one is open, the Impact Trick can come out, and now, like you said, Temper, he's just going to try to bother them with that Twitch drone.
So Goni will be taking a bit more damage. I think that's going to be from... I think there's some nades coming out from underneath, but Envy's been on his drone this entire time, so I'm not too sure where Goni's been getting injured from. Shots coming out from Temper, not finding anything just yet, and time is running out here for the attackers with 45 seconds left to play. Diffusers not even in the hands of the attackers. They still have to go pick up the diffuser. There's 40 seconds left to play.
Attackers recovered the diffuser.
And this is really bad. Zest can find the first frag onto Malachi. Affected, downing Temper as Goni finds the frag and the trade onto Zest. Temper has been downed here. It's now a 4v3 technically on the defender side of things with 25 seconds left to play. Filthy coming up for a flank will find the downed Temper on those stairs, but he'll use him as bait. Pop Shock with 1, and that's Foza with diffuser. Filthy finds the frag onto Temper. All up to Envy and Barracuda, and they'll shut them down. Aura moving up 4-3 on Villa.
Like you said, man, Aviator Games, it's definitely a site that tends towards, all right, you can get some pretty decent map control, but when it comes time to flush out those anchors and actually make it happen, you actually need more than 45 seconds to flush them out and actually make them pay for it. Make sure that you establish a lot of angles into sight. And they didn't have the time to actually go around and make those full rotations. And like you said, man, they didn't have the diffuser until late into the game. And when they had to run around and get that ate into their time and their strategy. And, Aura, they are so strong when all they have to do is hold down an anchor game and get those angles on. They're so good at being fluid and hard to lock down, and that is why they won round 7. So, as we go into round 8, unsurprising to see this site coming out from these guys. Of course, we've seen it get quite a lot of play. Second floor is considered to be strong hold for the defenders, and one of the reasons why Villa is considered so defender-sided is that you get up to 4 rounds on Statutory and Aviator. And we'll see if Aura is able to replicate the magic that Gypsy Guac was showing on this site, because, like I said, the anchor game is strong. You have to be a fluid anchor on Statutory because it's you got that open in the middle. you are open to anybody throwing
Attackers
in
will cover the
multitudes of
bomb
projectiles, and that
Attackers
includes
must
bullets,
locate and defuse the
frag
bomb.
grenades, and whatnot. We'll see if everybody is able to pull their weight here on Aura as they have been this whole way through.
Yeah, and taking a quick look at the scoreline here, we'll see CloudStruck and Filthy with 7, Malachi and Affected with 5, and Goni with 1. On the Chips and Guac side of things, Zest and Fozo leading the charge with 7, Zest with 6, and it's almost an even scoreline here. But if Barracuda had 3, it'd make a very even, make a nice countdown from 6 to 3.
It would be satisfying. We'd have her straight, and we'd be able to play some poker. But man, you know that I don't do straight very well. But anyways, man, the push has begun here as Envy leads the charge as an entry frag buck. They are not opting to have the Ash
bomb
online
has been
because they
located.
figure if you put the reflex on the C8, oh,
He's getting
what's the
very
difference?
close to site here. He's actually going to make his way into the A bomb site.
Bomb located
What is
by
happening in the
attackers.
first minute here? There's nobody playing the A bomb site, pushing his way into the B bomb site. Now he'll find the frag onto Goni. What is happening? The communication is just off the rails. Filthy would trade it out and finish off Envy. Why is Envy just solo pushing site? No one is there to trade him out. Zest is going to go start planning the diffuser. Filthy finally getting on this Echo Drum will find Zest in time, but no, he won't shock him off. Diffuser gets planted in the first minute 40.
And that's because you had the IQ there, spotted that Echo Drone in just the nick of time. And Zest showing a little bit of echoes with the Ying on that, with that pairing 9, an echo of Echo itself as well. And as the defenders continue to go down, as they go for the retake, Aura is struggling to have it as the Dokaibi calls go out. It is looking rather rough for them, but like you said, Malachi strong with the SMG-11, able to pick up 1, but not a second. As the turnaround comes out from Temper, prevents the retake, and we are up to 4-4. And I mean, man, we talked about how Aura has difficulty retaking the site, and the fact that they played so roam heavy makes me very curious and has me questioning why they would play so roam heavy when they would have to know that they have trouble with those retakes. But when I talk about the things that make you scratch your head, how quickly Envy was able to get into sight and just start clearing things out.
I'm just confused as to how Filthy was on his yokai drone, spotting out, calling out. Envy's pushing in through the B bomb site, pushes through the connector from Astronomy and into a game room, and just
Attackers need
frags
to locate
Goni
and
without
defuse
Goni
as
even
many
being
bombs as they
aware. Like, how does that even happen?
It's poor communication and a bit of bad luck, I feel like, it both went wrong for Aura. Of course, you know, like you said, if you're on that yokai drone, if you're Filthy, you got to be able to make those callouts. You got to be able to tell your team, hey, you know, please come back to site right now before they get that diffuser planted. And, you know, meanwhile, a little bit of bad luck that maybe Filthy just happened to not be on the yokai drone at the right time.
Bomb located by attackers.
May have been
10
affected
seconds
on
left.
the yokai as well, which, you know, we've seen that he's been a little bit selfish in a couple of defense rounds. Wouldn't surprise me to see it again, but
Attackers
also
recovered the
doesn't
bomb
surprise me
diffuser.
to see Statue Joy
Attackers are
played
moving
again
to
and with a
defuse the
little
bomb.
bit more of an anchor focus on the operator selections as well.
Moving on in, we'll be seeing a tight scoreline, which should not really have happened. And I think the big difference maker was just Envy being able to rush the site, and it just discombobulated the rest of the attack, the defenders' morale going into that retake. With the barricade here, it'll be able to stop, or at least force Envy to use the utility of that sledgehammer to break things down, so it at least give the defenders some kind of audio cues. Moving on in.
Bomb located by attackers.
And yet again, Affected is on the Echo. Not a wise choice, in my opinion. I think that Filthy and Affected should be swapping roles here, but either that or maybe Affected and Gun, but I'm not too sure.
I do think that it's wise to lean into letting Filthy go ahead and frag out, considering what happened to map 1 on Border Lane. on a longer sight line of map.
Barracuda? Just making a dumb play, pushing into a shotgun like that is very, very unwise. Goni will continue to let his phone ring. Frags coming out here, and that'll be a very easy shot coming out from Affected. Not able to find the frag, but either way, Envy will find that frag grenade hitting the back of Goni, and Filthy will finish him off with that C4. Shots coming out from Temper onto Malachi, trying to shut down his phone. It's now 3v3 with a minute 30 left to play.
And 3 defenders to 3 attackers. I don't know about you, but I like this situation for the defenders because of the amount of utility that you've still got. Filthy has got the cardiac sensor. I would have to assume that Bandit's still got the C4 on deck as well. But if you get a little bit too aggressive pushing back, Fozo is good to watch those flanks. And now favor tips back towards Chipsy Guac, as they've got a whole minute left to push this site. We'll see if they're able to do it up against an Echo and a Bandit.
Yeah, so Construct still on the board here. I don't think that Chipsy Guac has it easy just yet, especially with the Echo drones coming out of play and Fozo not droning out, affected in that corner. He'll retreat back into master bed. Construct playing aggressive here, but all 3 members of Chipsy Guac are on this A bomb site as Fozo will move on in. Zest will finish him off. Effective will finish off Fozo. It's a 1v2 situation. Plant was going down from Zest, but with the Echo in play here, Tipper's going to try to find that Echo drone coming in. Effective not utilizing those drones just yet. It's time to wait for Effective to move on in. Zest, wow, doesn't land the shot onto Effective. It's a 1v1. But can Temper finish it out here and give Chipsy Guac their first lead. It's now all up to Effective playing here. Pings are coming out here onto
Effective
Temper.
go on the Yokai.
And Effective will stop counter diffusing. Temper misses him. So will Effective. Effective's running out of time. Needs to make a play happen. Temper's rotating around to the astronomy rotate hole. And he'll be downed by Effective. And Effective will clutch it out and get the counter defuse in time. And Aura will move on 5-4.
A broken clock is right twice a day. And this time that broken clock is Effective getting aggressive with the Echo. But, you know, he's able to roll around. He's got the intel. And he's able to get those callouts onto the Ash, and he comes around, gets the kill, and it's the broken clock is right. The hands on 12 o'clock noon. It's 12 o'clock noon right now. He's able to get that kill and make it 5-4 in the favor of Aura. That's a big swing round for them too.
That is absolutely clutch coming off from Affected. He probably could have played that a bit better, but either way, a clutch is a clutch. Shutting it down in a 1vx scenario. In this case, it was a 1v2, and shutting down Zest and Temper, 2 very important fraggers coming out from the side of Chipsy Guac, and he does it.
I mean, and you mentioned it too. It looked like Zest just missed those shots.
Defenders, protect
maybe playing an operator he's a little bit less used to because they needed the utility, and Affected turned around, was able to make it happen. And now, like you like to see, Chris, you like to see Affected on the Jaeger. That's where he's gone now as they go back to Aviator Games Room, which a lot of people would say is certainly not a site that is necessary for Echo because you're going to be playing inside that vault anyways. You're going to be able to get around and get a lot of wide angles just simply by existing. So we'll see how it plays out as they've already won this site before. It's possible that they could do it again. It's all about shutting down that attack and making sure that they don't get multiple angles onto the site, and that's why you have Filthy on the castle.
Attackers are moving.
Just want to point out, put it in here with this updated score sheet. Zest and Fozo with 9, and like I mentioned before, Zest, a very important fragger coming out from Chipsy Guac. Temper with 6, Envy with 7, and on the Chips and on the Aura side of things, Filthy with 9, Effective with 8. So Effective switching over to the Jaeger. Spells good news for the Aura side of things, but in my opinion, I think they need to keep him on that Jaeger and have either Goni or Cloudstruck switch over onto the Echo side, onto the at least playing Echo on the statuary trophy bomb site. I couldn't think of the site.
I mean, they have some weird names on this map for sure, but Temper, man, he knows this map just as well as anybody else, and he knows that that hallway that he's coming up to is about to be pretty dangerous. So supporting Envy as well, who we've already seen make some pretty crazy aggro rushes. Supporting each other all the way. Now shots are going off there in that main hallway. Like we said, that's a hotbed for action, as Temper has already gotten most of his health down, and he's going to find out where those shots came from and make sure that he can get an angle on them as Envy comes to support him. Ooh. And he's the one that gets fragged. A one-tap from Malachi.
Malachi with a very clean shot there. Almost gets down by Fozo using that DMR of the MK14. Can Malachi play out here? No, he will not. Fozo taking a bit of damage, and Malachi will pay the price for peeking. Temper has been up to about 25 HP here. First phone call
defender weapons about 2 shots. In general, at least from distance.
Yeah, and Zest
See
will
if
be
they're
on
able-
flank watch, actually, considering that, I don't even think there's anyone roaming. No, Filthy's actually roaming. He's on a solo roam downstairs by kitchen. First gas grenade's gonna come out here from Goni. Actually, the second Toxic Babe. I didn't realize that he used the first one, but Filthy will go ahead and shut down his phone on that roam. Fuzzo just trying to line up a shot here, and that'll be Effect sitting inside a study.
But right now, Zest trying to hold down that main side
Attackers
hallway
drop the
out into
diffuser.
games, making sure the rotations don't come in through study if anybody wants to be out there to
Attackers
try to
recover
deny
the bomb
pushes from
diffuser.
there. But Filthy putting a little bit of denial on the backside here with the UMP-45, and you also see Temper goes down. The Ash is down but not out, but might as well be out unless Zest can get
15
out there and
seconds
help him
remaining.
out. And like we said, study can be a hotbed for helping out your teammates.
Has been located.
We're gonna have to
10
see the
seconds
aggressive
to go.
push here, leaving the Ash behind. You just gotta get in there and make something happen, but not
Cloudstruck.
today.
Cloudstruck is clutch. He came up big there, finding Zest and Fozo. And that's
Cloudstruck's so good, dude. Like, his gun skill is the one thing that I feel like keeps him on a team consistently, is that he is not a guy that's going to simply lose gunfights because whatever. He's a guy that doesn't need to feel himself to win gunfights. He's rock solid and rock steady. And rock steady has been the story of Aura so far. They're up 6-4 and 1 sight away. 1 victory on defense from moving on in the Challenger League playoffs in winner's bracket. And that would be big for them to make what some would consider an upset over Chipsy Guac. That would especially hurt Chipsy Guac, considering, like you said, they don't have their IGL tonight.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being
match
defused by
point,
attackers.
series point, and winner's bracket point here for Aura. And also want to point one thing out, unfortunately, from all 16 teams, I think maybe half of them, if not half, then maybe 4 of them are going to get eliminated after tonight, which is really unfortunate because all 16 teams here have fought very hard over the past 4 qualifiers. And so far right now, this looks to be in favor of
Attackers have
Aura.
located a bomb. 10 seconds
Yeah,
left.
Aura fighting for their right to make that an impossibility. They want to be moving on to
5
day
seconds
2.
to go.
They're 1 game away from doing that, but right now, if they are going to execute
Attackers have
that 1
recovered their
game away
defuse.
strategy,
Attackers are
it's
heading
going
out
to
to
be
defuse
on the
the bomb.
first floor, which some people consider to be a little bit weaker on Villa, but of course, Dining Room Kitchen is still doable for a lot of defensive strategies, and anchor heavy, which is, again, like we said, something that definitely favors Aura. Something that could work out in their favor, especially if Gypsy Guac takes a little bit too long to make that roam clear up. But Fozo gonna be on that drone duty because he can activate that gadget from anywhere, global ability on the logic bomb. That means that he's relegated to just clearing out that second floor and saying, all right, you guys are good to go. But you know that they're not good to go because you've got Filthy, who has been nuts so far in this series, up in Astronomy Room and waiting for them to try to establish that vertical control. Meanwhile, Malachi establishing control of the site. He's able to take down Envy, who once again is going for one of those signature crazy rushes. Malachi, once again, click on head, win game.
Yeah, you put it very, very well put. And they're just, I guess, trying to go for an aggressive push without much intel. But Malachi, such
A bomb
gun
has
skill.
been located.
Take down Envy. First Toxic Babe coming out from Goni. And the first phone call will come out from Fozo. The defenders will try to shut down their phones, and that'll be effective getting tracked here inside of the pantry. Fozo has actually been down, and that'll be Goni with the frag, but instantly traded out by Zest. Shots coming out from Effected, not able to land anything. Zest with a very tight shot. Will be Filthy above.
Putting any gun in Zest's hands makes him a danger. It doesn't matter if he's playing a Ying, a Legion, or even a Thermite. That's right, using that 5.56 will not stop him from getting 2 kills right in a row. That's why we're evened up. Double hard breacher's not looking like it's super necessary, but Zest just missing his shots on the second floor, but Tempest has got his back upstairs, and now it's down to Goni and Cloudstruck to hold it down. Lest we go to a 6-5 point, but Zest picking up his 3rd kill of the round, and now these guys on Gypsy Guac have just got to go ahead and find Cloudstruck as Zest starts to put down the diffuser. Cloudstruck tries to bait out some shots onto him. So he does, but he pays the price for it. Tries to stim himself, and it will not do as they get the full frag on him. Right there, that's Barracuda locking it down and sending it to 6-5. We're not done yet. Man, that round in particular fell apart so quickly because, I mean, man. So first of all, I do feel it necessary to point out that Malachi got that early kill, and that should have been so big. That should have been huge for Aura. But they did not have a mute jammer on that wall into laundry that goes into dining room, the one that separates the two, and that was an easy open for Zest. And after that was open, it was an easy 2 kills for him, and ended up finishing out the round with a 3K because maybe the site knowledge wasn't as far played out on the first floor
Need to locate
for
and
these guys
defuse
on
as
Aura.
many
So
bombs
now
as they
they
can.
got to fall back to the 2nd floor, and if they don't want this to go into overtime, man, they got to make it happen in the statutory room once again. And by the way, before we break down the action, I want to ask you guys in chat. I want to see what you guys are feeling. I want to see you press 1 if you're pulling for Aura to win this right now. I want to see you press 2 if you are behind your boys at Gypsy Guac and you want to see them turn this around in overtime. And just for the hell of it, press 3 if you're a wild card that just wants to see this game go on as long as possible.
10 seconds to insertion.
And this is pretty much do or die right now for Gypsy Guac.
5 seconds
This
left.
one round all comes down to whether they go to overtime or they move on into the loser
Attackers
bracket, which
recovered
would
the
be
bomb
really
diffuser.
unfortunate. but,
Attackers are moving out to
they've been
locate
able
a
to
bomb
come
and
back. They
defuse it.
won this last round, which was really, really crucial. Back against the wall. Let's just see if they can do it again. But this time with affected on Echo, you just gotta hope that he doesn't make aggressive peaks that are unnecessary. And you just gotta really hope that it comes down to the other 4 able to land their shots and not force affected to be in a situation where he has to go think that he needs to frag out.
Landing shots has been the big determining factor over this whole series, I feel like. It hasn't necessarily been the changes in strategies and the wild, stuff. It's all been pretty by the books for both teams, but it's just execution time. When you say, all right, I think that my team is quite literally better than yours, and we'll see who comes out on top in that situation. And, Foso coming in with the entry frag Ash, looking to say that he is better than anybody who dares challenge the ACOG that possess heat.
So Malachi will be on a roam here underneath with Filthy in the kitchen and dining room.
Attackers have located a bomb.
We'll be seeing the first half of the round pretty slow here. That'll be Barracuda tracking down Goni. Fortunately, it won't be any of the roamers downstairs, so with Goni in sight, it spells very good news for the defenders
Bomb
on Aura.
located by attackers.
That may not hit Goni, actually, from Temper.
Only peppering him with a little bit of shrapnel, and once again, the same. Goni playing hard to hit, and now he says, I'm ready for that really big effing hole, and I'm ready to take it down, but he's not able to impact trick it. The wall goes open. Zest is able to take down Goni as they put the thermite charge on low, and the impact trick successfully countered.
Very big fact to come out there from Zest. Wow, affected with a nice shot onto Fozo. That is a very tight shot to hit. Affected being very cautious at this angle that has been now opened up. It'll be Barracuda making his way here. And he'll finally be tracking down the Echo of Affected. So another anchor on site. Filthy with 1 onto Temper. Malachi has been let up to about 1 HP. Barracuda trading him out, but Cloudstruck with another onto Envy. It's now a 2v3 for the attackers. This is not going well. Cloudstruck lighting up. Zest lands a shot, but Barracuda will land a frag onto Filthy. It's all up to Affected yet again. Zest on 1 HP and the Echo drones in play. Affected has to play this out smart. That'll be Barracuda trying to find out exactly where Affected is playing. But Barracuda will be fragged. It's all up to 1 more bullet on Zest. Can he come around? Zest will land the headshot, and we're going to overtime, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow, what a clutch by Zest. He has been pulling his weight here on Villa to absolute maximum potential. It was a little bit of a flub there on the Jackal trying to find the Echo flanking around, but Zest pulling it out of the water, hauling him like you saw Thatcher hauling his brother onto his boat there in that Rainbow Six cinematic. Shoutouts to that. But boy, if we don't head into overtime for map number 3, it's not a real set. And I will tell you, ladies and gentlemen, and otherwise identifying, shoutouts to me, this is a real set because we are going into overtime game 13 as once again, your boys over on Aura are going to try to hold it down on defense for the 7th round in a row. But the big thing they have going for them, much like Chipsy Guac will, is that they have any site to choose from, and that means Aviator
Attackers
Room
need to
is
locate
on.
and defuse bombs.
That was a very well played out round coming out from Zest, and a very poorly played out from Affected. He had the yokai drones. He's not using his utility. I mean, granted, he got the frag onto Barracuda.
So let's go back. So let's go back to one of the first rounds that Affected was on the Echo right on defense here on Villa. We saw him take a really big risk and try to frag out, and it worked out. But considering what happened on Coastline, that felt like a really big surprise to us. And so he said, okay, it worked out last time. I want to try to be the hero. I want to win this for us. And he got the first kill, but then when he went up against the monster that is Zest, he got taken down. And you're right. He needs to get on that yokai drone. He needs to maneuver it and use it like any attacker would and simply drone those guys out and get the intel so that he's able to make a smarter push because he had plenty of time to get that defuse on. He could have played a whole 20 to 25 seconds trying to take down Zest and just land that one magic bullet. But as he got so aggressive, we're in overtime, and that means Aura may just be hanging on by a thread.
Yeah, and I just want to point one thing out here. Zest top fragging for Chips with 16 frags to his name. And he has been having absolutely the game of his life here. And rightfully so, you know, he's been the catalyst for Chips, not wanting to lose. He's been absolutely, you know, clutch after clutch. It's just absolutely amazing to see Zest fragging out on support, Fragmite all around, and he has the best survivability rate out of anybody in the entire lobby with only 6 deaths to his name in the past 12 rounds. That means he survived out of 6 out of 12 rounds. He survived 50% of this entire matchup.
The man plays conservatively, and you have to admire that. If his team is winning a round, well, you can say that certainly it may be down to the fact that he is staying alive, but we'll see how that comes down onto this attack here. Is once again MV getting aggressive, gonna try to take down those bandit batteries, but the ADSs are ready to tag. So now, Chipsy Guac, how are you gonna get that vault open?
Minute 20 left to play. Temple will use his first Ash breaching charge in the site, but he won't take down the barbed wire for some reason. The minute 14 left to play. Moving on in. Filthy will be played inside Vault, Malachi inside. Aviator trying to see if he can shut down Temper. Frag coming around here. Oh, but he barely misses the head of Fozo on the red stairs there. Very wise for Malachi to retreat and play time.
Now, 1 minute left for these guys to make a push on Aviator. Again, it's not necessarily taking control of the site that is hard, not necessarily the map, but it's going to be real hard to get into that site now that Zest, the Fragger, and the Thermite is down. Affected is also going to take down the bucket. With the mute down, Cloudstrut gets aggressive. It's down to a 4v2, and Foso and Barracuda have got to make it happen, but getting pushed out of the site, it's going to be even harder with those toxic waves going up. Everything is kicking off, but they have a chance to make the place happen.
He lands a frag onto Fozo, shuts down the defuse plant. 15 seconds to play out. It's all up to Barracuda with diffuser in hand. And Cloudstrut will land the finishing frag onto Barracuda, and we will have to rehost.
No way to make that happen, and guys, if you want the anticipation to build, just wait for Papa Rehost to give you that that stomach churning feeling of when will this go down. We'll be right back with some more action to close out this match between Aura and Chipsy Guac.
So we'll be restarting again. 7-6 after this rehost. And one thing I wanted to mention earlier before that round started was that no matter what, my personal opinion, and I'm pretty sure with a lot of people's opinion as well, if you manage to get defense first in overtime on Villa, you've practically won. Because, you know, Villa's a defender-sided map. It's the best map for defense to work with. And, you know, being that it's Aura on defense in
Attackers
the
need to
first
locate
round
and
bodes
defuse
very
as many
well
bombs
moving on
as
in
they
here. But
can.
maybe this little quick break will be all that Chipsy Guac needs to boost themselves coming into their next defense round, because we've seen both teams win on attack. On the first half, we saw Chipsy Guac win we saw Aura win 3 out of 6 attack rounds, and then this next half we also saw, you know, Chipsy Guac win 3 out of 6 attack rounds as well. So with the Titan scoring line going in at 6-6, it's a bit tough to say, but still, Zest with 16 frags showing up big time.
And he's still got a little bit more showing up to do once we actually finish out the overtime, because again, the match ain't over, folks. We're in the middle of a rehost. There is still more siege to catch, and you guys want a nail-biting set to finish out your night? Well, this could just be what you're looking for. So, man, I mean, you want to talk about people that step up big in every single round. You saw Malachi doing a bit of stepping up here in map number 3, but of course, I think the big story undeniably has been Zest. I mean, you look at Zest there on Villa, and you say, man, this guy just can't make a mistake. It almost seems that 16 kills, he got more than one clutch on his side, and that he's able to keep Chipsy Guac rolling even through the hard times. Definitely putting up a candle towards the Jackal that we saw coming out of Filthy over on Border. just because, like, man, I mean, like, it's almost hard to top Zest on Border, right? Or not Zest, rather Filthy on Border with those 19 kills, but Zest is making him sweat for that title. I think everybody's going to come out of this, 3-map set looking at Zest and going, wow, this man showed up and put his name on the map if you haven't heard of him.
Yeah, I guess you could call this match the Zest versus Filthy match in terms of just the fragging prowess and the potential coming out from both of these players. We saw Filthy, just backpacking Aura on map number 1, and Zest backpacking this past few maps. I need to reset the band operators too. Just give me a moment. It's Glazing, Mirror, and Maestro. I didn't even do the Glazing, Mirror, Maestro.
Well, and also just to put it on you, man. I mean, like, let's just put it to you this way. Cloudstruck has certainly not been just getting carried over on Aura's side, right? He's been playing really good support to Filthy. The two of them have been doing some absolutely nutty stuff, coming back around to, help each other make pincer pushes, the way that they want to find each other the kills, and, in general, both doing a really good job of fragging out. Meanwhile, on the other side, Envy's been doing a good job of playing a good aggression. Temper, maybe could have held back on that a little bit at some points. But yeah, the story has certainly been Filthy and Zest, the two titans of these teams that have been making people scream their boys' names up in chat, man. Like, I see y'all on Twitch. I see y'all pressing 1 and 2 for your boys. I don't know. I'm seeing Chipsy Guac fans showing up a lot. I see that y'all are double dipping on that Guac.
Yeah, so I just gotta recheck where the last bomb was. The last bomb site played in Aviator?
Or it was certainly played in Aviator.
Aviator, yeah. I'm just making sure that it's ready.
Yeah, we make sure that we get our settings down to the right side. So Aura gonna be going into round number 2 of overtime. They're gonna be up 7-6.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Blue wins Aviator. Okay.
So that would make Aura up 7-6 at the moment, and Tipsy Guac are going to be on defense. And they got to make this win happen, or else they are going to be knocked out.
Knocked down into the loser's bracket, at least.
Knocked into the loser's bracket. Yes, you are correct. They are not out. This is double elimination. We are not animals over here at ESL.
Yeah, it's also really nice to see that, you know, these teams still have at least another chance should they lose. And really, either team really deserves to win at this point. You know, we've seen Zest and Filthy just like fragging out, like, you know, who can frag out the most. And it's just been an absolute brawl from both of these teams. And I think, for one, I picked the best barn burner out of the entire matchup.
Yeah, I mean, bro, let me tell you what.
And
Even if
on the Monty, ooh, this could be tricky.
I'm gonna tell you what. I want to talk about that Monty in a second, but I'm gonna tell you what. You're talking about
Attackers
Filthy and
need to
Zest.
locate and defuse as many bombs as they
Even
can.
if neither of these teams make it into Challenger League, if I'm a Challenger League team that made it in and I need to get a new fragger on my team, I'm looking at this match and I'm going, very interesting.
Yeah, and what's also interesting is that Zest is absolutely fragging out of his mind on Thermite. Thermite, Valkyrie, you know,
Yeah,
it's
Thermite.
really hard to frag on Valkyrie just because of how little damage her gun does. And to see Zest pull out 16 in this one map, it's absolutely crazy to see him do that.
The Fragmite, dude. I mean, if you're down in Australia, you don't care about Marmite, you don't care about Vegemite. No, you're looking for the Fragmite, and Zest has got that on lock. I'm sure there's also a pun I can do about what flavor Fragmite would be and how it would be bestie, but I'm not gonna make that whole reach right now. I'm only looking to see how this attack is going to play out and to see if Aura can show their stuff and actually win this map number 3 without going on to defense again and strut their stuff.
Yeah, I just really hope that Affected on this Monty doesn't get over aggressive and plays him perfect. Like, he just has to stand in front, look pretty, not get too engaging unless he's getting, you know, he's getting pinched with his team. Then he can start to make a move. But with the site being upstairs in the trophy statuary room, it'll be interesting to see how Affected plays it out.
Well, first things first, you got to make sure that you're not going to get totally destroyed by roamers. And again, I think we've been seeing a lot of evolution over this time from these guys on Aura, making sure that they're not getting destroyed by a roam game. And now they've just got to figure out how they're going to attack that deeper and manage their time. Barracuda, just in the nick of time, getting out from that castle barricade that just got blown up as Malachi gets some angles down. And it says to Affected, go my son. Go, my son.
So Affected will spot out Barracuda playing on the south side of the statuary bomb site. First gas grenade is going to have to be wasted on Affected. It's very early considering we only have a minute and a half left to play here, but Envy, 2 more gas grenades to his name here. Malachi with an ACOG will easily take him down, and this falls in the favor of Aura. Shots coming out. Malachi not finding the head of Fozo just yet. Can he land the headshot that he desperately needs to? Oh no, Malachi peeks on over. And he does! Fozo will fall here to Malachi. It's now a 5v3. Affected has diffuser in hand, so we can't drop it just yet. We'll have to retreat back into Mastered in order to drop that diffuser. But this is looking very well for Aura.
Looking very well for them because they've been able to open up those long sight lines. I mean, what have we been saying about long sight lines and Chipsy Guac going together like oil and water? It is not working out for them. The fact that they brought that Hibana to open up Statutory Room and get those big sight lines means that it's down to the one-time sights to open these guys up, but Barracuda gets opened up by Malachi, who's going to support Affected as he gets the diffuser down. It has to be Temper to clutch it out, and he won't be able to get it. Aura will win in overtime, 8-6, as they are able to take down, despite my voice crack, take down Chipsy Guac, the higher seed for certain, and Aura in the tightest match we've probably seen all night are going to win it on map 3 in overtime, thanks to some serious step-ups by the guys that were having some problems early on.